All right, it's live raw. That was quick.
My son's after change.
Right. Shalom, shalom. First, like to say, Kahala Yahweh,
Hashem, Yahushai,
Barakatuh, and double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and honors to you brothers out there in the highways and the byways, teaching this word in all sincerity and truth. And there was a topic that's been on my spirit all week, man. I was going into John the 11th chapter, so I thought we'd go into that because I want to slide from that into John the 10th chapter. I mean, just get a bunch of them scriptures and history, and then we'll move on to other topics, man. Yeah, get John 11 and 47 real quick. Yeah, because listen, man, we got to still prophecy, the gospel, all these things. We have to keep teaching them. You know, the work is never done. The bread needs to be pushed out there. You know, still got these goofy Christians out there teaching madness. And then claiming that it's from the Bible, man. You go into the town center, there's just Christians out there with microphones talking about God loves everyone, and all this BS, and that's not the truth. The truth is that the Most High loves the Israelites. He loves his people, and he sent his only begotten son, Yahweh Shai, right, to be a savior and a deliverer for his people, the Israelites. Okay, and that's why we got to learn history. And ain't it funny that now all of a sudden the Edomite man wants to be accurate when it comes to history and depicting. I don't know if you've seen the whole thing with it's still they ain't letting it go. The whole Cleopatra thing on Netflix, and they still hurt. Oh yeah, and it shows these people are hypocrites. Oh, your blackification of history, and because they depicted that thought Cleopatra as a woman of color. Now they're hurt. Them goofy Egyptians over there are hurt, and all of a sudden they wanna get down to the nitty gritty. Oh well, actually Cleopatra, she wasn't really an Egyptian. She was a Macedonian. So all of a sudden they wanna get accurate with the history. But for all this time they didn't want to be accurate with nothing. It was fine portraying people of color as so-called white people. That was all right. They didn't need to be accurate, but now it's like, oh no, they're trying to erase our history. Anne Boleyn, and listen, man, like that's why we can't take you Edomite seriously. But if you want to be accurate, yeah, Cleopatra was a Macedonian. But if you want to be even more accurate, she was an Edomite that had migrated. She was from a lineage of Edomites that had migrated up into Macedonia and became the ruling class in that region. So Cleopatra was not only a Macedonian, she was an Edomite. Just like you devils are Edomites, but you're calling yourself Americans. And how come you don't want to be accurate when it comes to Americans? Because you're not really an American, are you? You see what I'm saying? These damn devils. But that's why it's important to learn history. Because you can't understand the Bible unless you understand its history and timelines and understand that somebody that's living in a region today or dominating a region today, if you go back in the process of time, that region could have had a different name. It could have been different people living there, different people dominating there. And America's the greatest example of that, because if you go back 700 years, America wasn't dominated by the so-called white man. It was dominated by the so-called Native Americans, which are the Gadites. But now it's dominated by the so-called white man. So things can change over time. So you got to go back into that history.
Psalms 49, verse 11. The inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever, and their dwelling places for all generations. They call their lands after their old names. So you had a lot of different back and forth and different ownership of different lands and that, and they keep renaming things and whatever. And Esau's done that to this day. He's renamed himself. He's rebuilt. You know what they say, you have to rebuild yourself, right? Get a new image. And that's what Esau's done, because he wants to stay far away as possible from the Edomite heritage, man. So he became the Japhites, being the Greeks after he displaced them. became the Romans, for the same thing. And everywhere he goes, he displaces them and takes on their customs and their their identity, so to speak, going into us, right?
Yeah.
He's taking our land. And he's acting like he was the true small, the true Jews, right? But it's just a facade. It's all a lie, and it's been told long enough in history that we just take that for truth now. That's all it is. And now we're going up against it now. Now people are getting upset that we're trying to come against the status quo. But the Bible will tell you, that biblically and prophetically that we're the true children of Israel. And these Edomites, they're the ones out here ruling the earth. They're the ones changing their identity and changing the lands, the names of lands and places and whatever. It's them. They're trying to cover up their tracks because like Cain the fugitive, that's what they do. They try to cover up their track. You're on a run.
That's right. You got time? Right. So can we get John the 11th chapter?
Yeah. 47. You want verse 47?
Yeah.
This is from John chapter 11, verse 47. It says, then gathered the chief priests and the Pharisees a council and said, what do we? For this man doeth many miracles. If we let him thus alone, all men will believe on him, and the Romans shall come and take away both our place and nation. So the wicked scribes and Pharisees, they were more concerned about losing their position in Rome than they were serving the Lord, staying true to what the scriptures are saying. They weren't really upholding those things.
Yeah, and then you have to understand that's where history comes into it, because Rome was back then when you give me the kingdom of heaven suffereth violence and the violent taketh by force. Rome, Judea, or what was known as Judea, was a Roman province. They were under the rulership of the Romans. So you had the Pharisees, you had the chief priests, right? But then you had a king that was a puppet king, which was Herod. But then you even had a governor over Herod, which was Pilate. Pilate was a governor over the Roman province, which is Judea. Now they had seen through their eyes, their carnal eyes, what happened to nations that disobeyed or rebelled against the Romans. And it's all recorded in history. When a people would rebel against Rome, Rome didn't send lilies and negotiators. They sent the centurion. They sent the army. And when they turned up, it wasn't a bag of talking going on. It was pure slaughterage. Yeah,
and everyone knows about the Roman Empire and soldiers and that kind of stuff.
They were brutal. So their thing was raw. Like if everyone believes on this guy as the Messiah, because they didn't believe, but it's like they believe in this Messiah, then they're gonna rebel against Rome. And if they rebel against Rome, Rome's gonna send the legions, and then we're gonna get executed.
Which only happened in the end.
Yeah.
It happened in the end, So they weren't wrong, but at the same time, they should have followed the Lord, didn't it?
Yeah, they didn't believe. They didn't have no faith.
Yeah.
This is the book of Matthew 11 and the 12. And from the days of John the Baptist until now, the kingdom of heaven suffers violence, and the violence take it by force.
Right. The violent represented the Romans, which at that time, the dominant people of Rome were the Edomites. They were the dominant ruling class of Rome, right? And Rome was a very militaristic society, just like America. Just like America, man.
It's that strength of iron.
Yeah.
In Daniel's prophecy, the statue is the strength of the iron.
You want to get that? Because we could get that. That's a beautiful historical and prophetical point. Yeah, get that, break that down. Must be. Yeah, they were highly and they were good at it too. The Roman phalanx, right? Which they kind of adapted from the Spartans. Like the way they used to, I think it was a turtle. The way like they were very organized as an army. The actual Roman army was a well-oiled machine, and they were very good at what they did. And they were able to go in there and conquer the barbarian armies, which were less organized. And not only that, you had your man Julius Caesar. Julius Caesar was made famous because of his military tactics he used to conquer Gaul, because it was thought that Gaul was unconquerable. You had all these different mad tribes. Well, yeah, you're right. You want to say something on that?
No, I said there's no one that was able to take the match. It was unthinkable that was going to go do that.
So he went there because joining the military and winning military battles, not only was that a route into wealth, but it was also a route into politics, just like America. Yeah, it was a route into politics because you could go directly from being a general into being a senator or whatever the case may be, and you get that respect. All right. So this guy went over there to Gaul and he employed divide and conquer tactics. So what he did was he learned about the tribes cunningly. He learned about the different tribes and he used the different differences that the tribes had against each other against them, right? And then eventually he was able to take over Gaul, and that kind of launched his fame in Rome. And the rest is history. How he then, as a leader, became above the other guys like Crassus, and Pompey even was a great military commander. But Caesar kind of eclipsed Pompey.
Well, Caesar became a god.
Yep.
Maybe God essentially. You know?
Oh yeah. That's why you had the month of Julius.
They named after him, God,
right?
Named after himself.
Which I believe his household, his surname was Julius. Yeah, the house of Julii, and then he adopted Augustus, and then Augustus called himself the son of God, right? And that's where you get August from. So you get, sorry, not June, July. So you get July and August, and that's all a form of idolatry, going back to Caesar and his son Augustus, adopted son, I believe. But they he got a lot of praise for the military, bless the troops. Just like how you see now, if you go to a British football game, yeah, ain't nobody care about the fucking troops. No one mentions them. But you watch American football game, they got a section for the troops, and it's like because it's a very militaristic society. They live off war and the spoils of war and conquering other nations. Yeah, just like that.
Yeah. Got downs too?
Yeah.
Do we read through the whole thing or just the iron part?
It's up to you.
Okay. I'm gonna skip a bit then. I'm gonna jump down a bit. Right. So Daniel got the interpretation of the dream that Nebuchadnezzar had. The Most High gave that to him, or revealed that to him, right? So Daniel 2:32 says the image was of fine gold. Speaking to Nebuchadnezzar, this is representing him, Babylon, right? His breast and his arms of silver, his belly and his thighs of brass, his legs of iron, his feet part of iron and part of clay. And thou sawest that a stone was cut out without hands, which smote the image upon his feet that were of iron and of clay, and break them to pieces.
And that's Yahweh Shai. Yahweh Shai is going to come and dismantle all these kingdoms, all of these kingdoms, and all the dominions are going to become his dominion. It's the new world order, yeah, a new kingdom, the kingdom of heaven, which is the rulership of the Israelites, kingdom of righteousness. Yeah, the rulership of the sons of God, and only the sons of God can play that role, because the sons are likened unto the Father. That's what they're chosen for. That's what they were made for. Unlike those heathens, the heathens will never be perfect.
In verse 25, then was the iron, the clay, the brass, the silver, and the gold broken to pieces together, and became like the chaff of the summer threshing floors, and the wind carried them away, that no place was found for them. And the stone that smote the image became a great mountain and filled the whole earth. And you know what that goes hand in hand with? I'm just thinking in my brain, Jeremiah the 30th chapter. Let's get that real quick, because what that adds up to is, remember the scripture says the Lord is going to make a full end of all the nations which be scattered. So that goes hand in hand with that ultimately all these kingdoms are going to be brought down and they're going to be destroyed. And that's why when the Lord turns up with the white horse and carries the angels, that you don't have many crowns, when he said. He's signifying he's going to take power and rulership from all the nations, man. Because he's going to be the only one. I'm the one. The Lord's going to be the one, to rule over the earth like that.
Just you can hit straight from the point. We could get from verse 11.
This book of Jeremiah starting 11.
In fact, start from 10, because we'll reference this back, because it says about Israel being scattered. And vocab don't want to see these guys like vocab. On one hand, they're like, well, everybody's mixed. Israel scattered. So on one hand, this is why these people are very disingenuous. On one hand, they want to talk about the Israelites being scattered because it's convenient for them, because they want to make an argument that nobody knows who the Israelites are. But then on the other hand, when we say yeah, because the gospel had to go out throughout the nations because the Israelites are scattered, then they wanna then it doesn't apply no more. These guys are very disingenuous. They pick and choose when they want to make arguments.
That's what Mr. Portrait
Deception by omission. Yeah.
This is the Jeremiah chapter 10. Therefore, fear not, O my servant Jacob, say the Lord. Neither be dismayed, O Israel. For lo, I will save thee from afar.
Right, the salvation. The Lord said He's going to save Israel from afar, because that's where we are today. We're far away. We've been removed from our borders. Right, we're scattered in the four corners of the earth. Yeah.
And thy seed from the land of their captivity.
The Lord is saying, when He said the seed, it wasn't talking about nothing spiritual. The seed represents your progeny, your posterity, right? Your actual. He's telling them, listen, your seed, meaning your children's 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 children, I'm gonna save them from afar. It's not
because it literally happened. What you get the seed.
That's it. It's a physical thing. But they want to say no, the physical seed don't matter. No, that's not true, and that's not what the New Covenant writings are trying to say. They're not going to overturn what the Lord already said.
Yeah, because genealogy still matters, man. That's why it's still referenced in the scriptures. How I had the genealogy, it's clear for everyone to see what the genealogy was. If it didn't matter, oh yeah, the Lord was a spiritual, it's the tribe of Judah. It didn't matter. You know, you put that whole, Virgin Mary crap, the whole the immaculate birth, immaculate deception, right? But no, the Lord had a genealogy that wouldn't be able to take place without the man's seed, without a man's seed, So the seed does matter. Genealogy does matter, man. But there is more to it than just being off the seed, because the elect are of a particular mindset in the spirit, where the majority of people are not in that mindset, which means they're not going to be delivered. But it has to come through the seed, right?
From the land of their captivity. And Jacob.
Yeah, land of our, and we're still in captivity today. But there's different forms and levels of captivity. We're still in captivity. Right now, Esau's running a falsehood and a lie to make our people believe that we're free. But if we were free, first of all, we'd put Esau in slavery. We'd be at liberty to serve our power and to get vengeance upon our enemies, which none of us have.
You wouldn't be begging Esau for help and to change things around for you, because in a crap situation.
Well, even Yahweh Shai said, the truth shall set you free. Esau don't give you the truth. Esau don't want you to know this truth. Esau captivates our people with lies and psychological operations. For what purpose? Like this guy Jerry Springer died the other day. Bro, 99% of what you saw on Jerry Springer was all scripted. It was all a psychological operation to degrade the minds of the people. And it's no coincidence that who's running and writing and performing in these shows. J-double-O. Yeah, the J-double-O. Yeah, it's always them, right? Maury. Yeah. That's all scripted. Maury, Jerry.
Yeah, Jerry's bodyguard or the stage
Wilco, yeah. Then he got his own show doing the same BS, right? And what's all that for, really? It's all to destroy the minds of our people so they could keep us as workers, as serving His will, to build His world, to work for Him, to be subject unto Him, His ways. So we're still in the land of our captivity today because we're not sovereign. We're not in our own rulership.
What I'm saying, man, Jay ain't got no autonomy. Yeah, Jay don't own nothing, right? Jay ain't got no army,
no might.
If you wanted to do a different thing to what this government is doing, what are you gonna do? Can't do that. You have to do what the government tells. They got the army and everything. So you haven't got any power, no autonomy, no nothing, and that means that you're subject.
Yeah,
you're a subject.
You fought to just basically have access to do more jobs for Esau.
Yeah,
like I really want to be in Esau's military, or I really want to. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's just you. But when you go into Esau's military, whose agenda are you serving?
Yeah.
You're serving. You're not serving your own agenda.
Yep.
Anytime you're in this society, you're not serving your own agenda. You didn't sit down in a meeting somewhere and set the agenda. Some Edomites, some dusty Edomites that smell like cigar and vinegar, sat there and came up with the agenda that you're running with. I don't care what industry you're working in. It could be the medical industry. It could be the media industry. It don't matter what industry you are, where you are in that industry. That industry has an agenda. It's under some form of control or guidance. That's why you got all these non-government organizations and all these think tanks that come together to push everything in a certain direction. Your ass ain't on it. Your uncle ain't on it, and your granddad ain't on there. It's all Edomites that sit on there, and from that top of the pyramid pushes everything downhill for you to do.
Yeah, you know, this is another D in the machine, man. You
Yep.
know, the machine's Esau's. You know?
The Bible says when we go into the kingdom, our nobles shall be of ourselves, meaning our agenda and our rulership and our powers of authority will be from among our own people. There won't be anyone else having power and influence over us. You understand? That's why you got 144,000 Israelites who are going to be the government of Israel, and they're not going to be answerable to no heathen. They're not going to be no heathen sitting at a table as an equal. All right, but a lot of you, Jake, you think you're free because you apply for jobs. You ain't free, man. So we're still in the land of our captivity to this day. Yeah.
Jacob shall return and shall be in rest and be quiet, and none shall make him afraid.
What does it mean to be quiet? Meaning we're not going to be complaining. We're not going to have to protest. Jacob always complaining and protesting about something. You know why you're doing that? Because you don't have no power. If you got power, you don't protest, you do. When you got liberty, a man that's liberated don't protest. You just do what you want to do. Jake is complaining. Jake is under pressure. Esau can change the rules or switch up the goalposts at any time he wants, and there's nothing you could do about it. He will change some form, and now it's more difficult for you to do something, or you can't get something that you want to get. What are you going to do about that? You have to complain.
Well, what's the newest one here in the UK? Like, get some special ID now to vote. You can't just, you know, not advocating voting because it's bullshit here, but like they make you, they set the rules of what you can and can't do. Yeah. They set what you can and can't do, how you're gonna go about it. That's why when this whole MLT thing starts going around, you're gonna have to do as they told you to do. Otherwise, you ain't getting nothing. You know. But the same way you need driver's license, the same way you need, you know, this documentation, that document, passports and whatever. It's his rules,
right? And if he feels like there's something you're doing or you're not doing that he ain't in agreement with, he gonna upset you that day.
Yeah.
Right? He gonna come in. He gonna send it. He gonna send in an agent. So he gonna come in. He gonna send in his agent provocateurs. Right? He's all gonna do something to fuck your day up. So you're not at rest. Or he'll bomb you from the sky like a Black Wall Street and all many other examples. Look at Grenada. Look what Esau did in the Grenada, all the way over there in the Caribbean. Yeah, steel pan. Them man are down there. What the fuck are they doing in Grenada? Them man are over there in Grenada eating monkey and fucking drinking coconut water, yeah, and chilling on the beach trying to build up the island, yeah. And Esau was like, nah, fuck that. And they actually sent the military in there and attacked Grenada. So how are you at rest? You're not at rest. Because at any moment, there's peace. At any moment, Esau could decide, I don't like that you have something and I want to come and take it.
He's not quite sitting on beaches, you know.
And that's what happened in Egypt. It tells you in Egypt that Pharaoh said, you know what, man, double them man's workload. Yeah?
Because we the sheep herders, man. We had Dan and all that kind of stuff, and we're getting too big for them. They feel uncomfortable.
Hey, like in France, Esau turned around and said, yo, hold up, you can't retire now till you're 80. Hold that, innit? You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So we're not at rest in this kingdom, man. We're subject to what Esau decides to do, and then we got to complain and react to it and cry about it and I don't like this man, the system. You know,
you're being forced. You know.
Yeah, go on. It's the book of Hebrews 13 and 14. For here we have no continuous seat, but we seek one to come.
Right? We don't have no continuous city, but we seek one to come, and that's holy and new Jerusalem, which is going to be free.
Our city,
and it's going to be above. It's going to be at liberty above all nations. Ain't nobody going to tell us nothing. Ain't nobody going to be threatening us. Ain't nobody can't come and talk. Like, they gonna have to all come in supplication and that beggy spirit. That's a spirit these nations are gonna be on. Something you, Jake, can't imagine because we haven't had that kind of power for so long. We don't know what that's like when the other nations have to come on that beggy business. They have to respect. They're asking you like, oh, should we do this? Should we do that? They don't want to get sanctioned. They don't want to get penalties. Ain't nobody on a governmental or national level worried about what Jake thinks. Nobody before, no country or world power, whether it be America or Russia, before they go to implement an agenda, says, you know what, man, we need to call up Pookie or Rex 9 or some dumbness like that, yeah, to find out what they want to do, to find out if it's okay. No one considers like.
It's good to say our enemy shall become the head, we should become the tail, man.
The tail.
The tail follow the head.
Don't even control it.
Yeah,
Everyone praising off this Franklin Saint, thinking he's like that's the way forward. He wasn't even running the drugs, my man. He didn't decide whether drugs were legal or illegal, and he weren't running the drug game. He was just a worker. Even in the damn program, the CIA was running the drugs. Just the middleman. Like there's no industry or any function on this earth that Jake is actually running it, man. And that's just the facts. So in the kingdom, we're gonna be at rest. That's what the Lord's gonna do. We're not gonna have to worry about the other nations and worry about reprisals and people coming and trying to violate.
In the kingdom, man, Jake will be running all the opium back. For medicinal purposes, you know. You running all of that.
Shoot Esau up, man.
Well, really, that's what these niggas should be, man. Should open up a pharmacy, bro. You know what I mean?
Watch his eyes roll,
they're like the drug game so much. They should be pharmacists.
Yeah, but Esau will shut them down. But Esau controls everything. That's the thing.
That's right.
Esau's gonna make sure that he's benefiting the most out of anything that goes on, and that's just how the game's gonna be. In our kingdom, we're gonna benefit more out of things.
Yep.
Going up. Isaiah 2:1. The word that Isaiah, the son of Amos, saw concerning Judah and Jerusalem, and it shall come to pass in the last days that the mountain of the Lord's house shall be established in the top of the mountains.
Right. So that's talking about the 144,000, and that's why they're men, because government is an authority rests with the men. The men are the strength. Yeah, and there's not going to be no debate in that. We don't even like to debate it. We're just going to tell you what it is. Because right now they want to debate. There's not going to be no debate, right? The authority is going to go back to what it should be. The men of authority in positions of authority doing what people in authority do, which is run shit. There ain't going to be no woman. There ain't no women in the 144,000 with good reason. That's not their position. Their position is to be over the children. Their position is not to be over other men.
Well, they're told not to usurp authority.
That's right.
You know, Lord said my tabernacle is with men. You know, and that's just what it is, man. Who can argue?
Well, you can argue if you want, but there won't be no arguing coming back from our end. It's just gonna be a laser beam, innit? And you can go get a good night, a reset, and go back to the spirit world. Ain't nobody got time with that. Like there's all this backward and forward and debating. All right, cool. Hold that L when the missiles come, when the death comes, innit? That's all that's gonna have to happen. Fucking debating with a creature that desires to be penetrated, man. How the fuck? Come on, man. It's asinine. It's asinine, man. Putting a creature that likes to be that desires to be penetrated in a position of power doesn't make any sense.
To be dominated.
It doesn't make any sense, bro. So why are we even gonna go? Let's keep it going, man. So it's 144,000 men. That's gonna be the government. 12,000 men from each tribe. And that government is going to be over all the other governments. Point blank, period. Not on no equal level, pure power and domination.
And it shall be exalted above the hills, and all nations shall flow unto it. And many people,
every single nation there is that exists outside of the nation of Israel is going to be under our power and rule. There's not going to be one nation out there that's going to be independent of our rule and the rule of Yahweh Shai. Complete and utter domination over all life on earth. That's the kingdom of heaven. Rulership. Straight raw. And it ain't going to be up for debate or none of that bullshit.
And that's what Yahweh Shai gave us, man. We share with that power, man. We share with the iron rod, all of that, you know, to have dominion over the nation. Say something. Say something.
Yeah, go on. Yeah.
No, I'm just saying. Someone say something, man. Yeah, I was trying to get into it, man. So, whatever, man.
Yeah, man. That's it. It's what it is, man. Go on up.
And many people shall go and say, Come ye, and let us go up to the mountain of the Lord, to the house of the power of Jacob, and he will teach us of his ways.
We're gonna re-educate the world on all things, because you see, Esau, the great enlightener, right, got a lot of bullshit going on. Yeah, there's a lot of ways that Esau wants everyone to think that he's led the world into some fucking utopia and he's driving forward technology and know-how, so everyone's going to him like, okay, this is how we do this. His mentality and his ways are flawed because they're not guided by the ways of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. So everything he does, whatever knowledge he gets or don't get, yeah, always ends in destruction because it's corrupted. It's not perfect, even though he wants you to think it's perfect so that you follow it, and they call it progressive. In fact, can you look up the word progressive? That's what Esau labels himself. Oh, I'm progressive. So now it's progressive for a young man to chop off his penis. That's progressive.
It's progressive to be degenerate.
It's progressive to be degenerate. It's progressive to have fake food. Yeah? We didn't need none of that progressive stuff. We got a dietary law, and you're supposed to eat a balanced diet. That was already established. Now Esau, he gonna come and fix all. So he got a million diets that you can follow, the Atkins diet, this, that, and it's all bullshit. One man's telling you can't eat oats. Next man, it's like, come on, listen, if literally you could go crazy trying to follow Esau's dietary plan for your life, man. Because you just everything's bad for you and everything's good for you. And it's all this bullshit in between. Oh, he's progressive. Esau's not progressive, man. We're gonna be the progressive ones. The nations are gonna look at us and the kingdom we built, and they're gonna be like, okay, so that's how you do that. That's how you run agriculture. And they're gonna know because they're gonna be working for us. So they're gonna be learning. Okay, that's how the laws, statutes, because that's how you make judgments.
This is it. We're gonna teach you the ways of the Lord, man. The ways of life. Esau been bringing nothing but death into the world, man. Having people stuck on stupid, confused. Everyone in a confused state. No one knows what the hell they're doing. They're just following Esau's the latest thing Esau comes up with. But we're gonna teach you the ways of the Lord, man, which is the ways of life. That's why everyone's gonna benefit of living that way.
We're gonna be running science, like my man from Bleach,
Yeah,
that dude. Hey, we're gonna be running everything. Everything which is knowledge is gonna flow from us. We're gonna be the authorities over everything. Just like how Esau pretends to play that role now. Oh, Dr. Shittlewitz, the leading expert. Listen, Dr. Shittlewitz can go suck his mother, man. Furthermore to that, go lift that rock, man. We don't want to hear from you. It's gonna be Prince such and such, of the house of, you know what I'm saying? Like, of the, that's the man that's gonna be running everything and telling everybody what's real and what ain't real. Yeah, history, whether it's history or mechanics or any technology, we're going to be deciding how it gets used and how it's not to be used. The calendar, the astrology, everything, we're running all that because Solomon had all that knowledge, man.
Yeah, go on. It's Isaiah 25 verse 7, and he will destroy in this mountain the face of the covering cast over all people and the veil that is spread over all the nations. But like I say, Esau is spreading all this deception and lies, man, and everyone's drunken with all this knowledge that Esau's been giving them. So we have to peel that back, man, and have to reverse engineer that shit and have be brought up the right way, man.
You're gonna have to see how a kingdom's supposed to be run. Because America's supposed to be the benchmark. Never forget that.
Look at it.
And think about how horrible that sounds. America is the benchmark.
Yeah.
That's the pinnacle of their existence is America. Think about it. That's the pinnacle of their existence.
And you man got Skid Row. You got some terrible places
and
in America.
They wanna export that
around the world, yeah. And that's the model, yeah, the model, right?
That's the model.
That's the model.
No, Rasta.
Even China trying to race after that damn model, man, to their own destruction.
They want to spread that to Mars, the aliens, the Star Trek. They want to boldly go. Nah, Rasta, man, it ain't gonna work.
The way progressive is adjective from 1600, characterized by advancement going forward, moving onward.
And
In
Esau thinks
action,
he's advancing, man. All this technology, all these philosophy, he thinks he's advancing. He's getting wiser. Hell no, man. This place is the worst it's ever been. You know?
It's working against the people. Most of the things that Esau brings out is the work. It's there to work against the people. Even if it could be used in a good way, it always is ended
Comes
up
out
using against the people.
Yep.
It's against life. It's against, and that's why the people are so self-destructive in the way they live and the way they act and the things they do. Because everything around you is really designed to destroy you and for Esau to profit off it at the same time. Whether you're talking about the food or the education or the TV or the media or whatever you talk about, there's an abuse being done.
But there's, these things are what they call a double-edged sword, right? You can see its benefits that it has, but we also you see ways it can be abused, and it's all about who wields it. And then you got the devil wielding it. You already know what he always wants to do with that. And he's gonna tell you, oh yeah, for your healthcare, for that, man. But what he's trying to do is whole different level. He's trying to enslave you, he's trying to get you caught up in stuff, man. That's what he's thinking about. It's a trap. He tell you because he can, oh yeah, this is gonna help you, help your life, and make it easier and all this kind of stuff. But he's gonna take your job. He's gonna have you living on benefits, in UBI. He's setting you up, man, because he only wants to use these things for evil, man.
Yeah, giving the people mixed messages. So he'll tell you don't steal, but then make a movie where the hero steals cars.
Don't steal, but he stole everything.
You know what I mean? Like, it's all backwards and messed up in this. Like, it's all confusion, man. This society makes no sense. Remember that film, Gone in 60 Seconds? Like, the film's literally about stealing cars. And that's the good guys. And there you go, man. It's madness. When you think about it, it's like, wow, like, this place is really confusing.
But again, we run in the industries.
Yeah, it's Esau. Esau, man, he's the asshole.
It's still happening.
Oh, yeah, the J-double.
The righteous of the earth, right?
Scum.
in a social political sense, favoring reform, radically liberal, it emerged in various British contexts from 1880 in the
Right.
US.
Yeah, radical and liberal, meaning radical liberal away from the ways of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. They want to be liberated. See, we want to be liberated through the way of the Lord. They want to be liberated from the way of the Lord. And that's the big difference between Esau. Esau's idea of freedom is wickedness and evil and sin. Do as thou wilt. Our idea of freedom is being free to do as the Lord wills.
Yeah.
And that's why the scripture speaks about to prosper, the glorious liberty of the sons of God. Our liberty is being freed from sin. Esau's liberty is being able to do sin. That's why you had the women's liberation movement. And what were they liberating women to do? Adultery, lesbianism, rebelliousness.
Go up through the roof.
Yeah, they liberated man to be Batiman. And now you got a situation now where the new generation coming up, they're saying a quarter of them are LGBTQ plus to the A to the Z to the. It's mad. They man have got all these different variations of perversions that's going on. And Esau calls that liberal and progressive. That's why he got to go. Like, how can that be productive for mankind to have all these people straying away from the core tenets that the Lord set up between a man and a woman, man?
Because Esau called it progressive, but the Most High called it wickedness, man.
Backwards.
That's why Sodom and Gomorrah got burnt up. And that's exactly where he's leading the people, man. Esau. But how can that be progressive then? The end of all this is death. How can that be progressive? No sense, man.
You're gonna have to get advanced ass kicking. That's what Esau's gonna have to get. He needs to be removed from rulership, and that's what's going to happen. Yep. But anyway, let's go on. People at Vocab are not going to be able to talk no more. In the kingdom of heaven, heathens and Edomites are going to be kept to a minimum of their platform. And this is the problem with this world right now. You got people who shouldn't have platforms having platforms. People who shouldn't be in rulership. It's all wrong. You got Edomites like Vocab teaching the Bible and trying to tell people about the Bible and trying to be, and they're the devil. The devil not supposed to be able to be teaching you nothing spiritual. So in the kingdom of heaven, people like Vocab Malone are not even going to be able to speak. That's going to be a sin. If you walk down the street in the kingdom and you see Vocab on the side trying to teach people, man.
It's illegal, bro. It's illegal,
What's this
man.
guy doing? The only thing he's suitable for is to break rocks and carry them or fetch water and say yes or no. Well, not even no.
Just nod.
Just yeah, yes. Can't.
Nod. Top man time, just nod.
Yeah, man.
Looking at Churchill. Oh yes. It's like I should grab something quickly. It's Isaiah 29 verse 16. It says, surely your turn of things upside down shall be esteemed as the potter's clay. We're gonna look back at the way this everything was being run here, man, and just know it is that this is fucking messed up, man. This is terrible.
And the whole LGBT thing is beautiful. Is gonna be the ultimate, like, wow, like, yo, them man were chopping off people's penises, bro. How vain and insane.
Mm-hmm.
You know, sometimes I sit there and I meditate. You actually meditate that they're taking a young boy or a young girl and mutilating them and getting them to believe that they're a different gender. Like, do you know how dark and low and ignorant and horrific that is? That is demonic on the highest level to do that to an individual.
Oh, yeah.
And then on top of that, to say you're doing it for love and you're helping that person. You know how demonic? That's like someone chopping my legs off and say, I'm doing it to help. I'm trying to help you. Like, what? But you're chopping off my legs, but I need them. Oh, I'm just trying to help you. What? That's sick, man. But people are gonna look back at that like millions of years from now, and they're just gonna be like, wow, like, whoa, Frank, yo, that's extreme. That's extremely mad. And you're not even allowed to say it's mad. You have to be like, yep, I agree. Yep. You have to affirm it. Man, suck your mother. Listen, I ain't affirming nothing over here. You better believe that. That is mad. That is, and that's how you know we're at the end. Because they're pushing that. That's the Lord's. Okay, cool. We're just gonna shut this thing down right now because these men are moving crazy.
Yeah, open the back doors to them pedophiles and all kinds of things, man.
Yeah.
You know? MAPs. So
Young
MAPs.
Yeah, minor attracted persons and all this madness, man.
So you're opening the door for them, man. So that's what Esau really want to do.
Yeah, just totally destroy the fabric of life, man. What's that equation? Dark seed, the anti-life, anti-life equation. Just reformat the earth, man.
So show your turn of things shall like you read again. Surely your turn of things upside down shall be esteemed as the potter's clay. For shall the work say of him that made it, he made me not, or shall the thing framed say of him that framed it, he had no understanding?
Yeah, the Lord knows what he's doing. And then so at the end of the day, everything that the Lord hath determined is going to come to pass and be established. And all the bullshit that, like, the fact that you're an Edomite and you're going to be destroyed, that's going to come to pass. And that's going to be established. You're not going to be able to twist that round and change it up. And all this madness about all this argument between men and women, exactly what the Lord intended to be righteous is going to be established. Everything that the Lord intended that's written in this book is going to be established, and all what you're doing here is going to be exactly what it is: vain. It's going to fade and have no lasting effects, and it will be almost like it had never been. The only way man are going to know that it's been is because it's recorded. Otherwise, there will be none of your effects save the destruction of America in the earth. Your influence and all your corruptions are all going to be erased. All your hard work, all your witchcraft, undone. Think about that, man. It's disgusting, man. Yeah, come on.
It's the book of Job 20 and 4. Knowest thou not this of old, since man was placed upon earth, that the triumphing of the wicked is short, and the joy of the hypocrite but for a moment.
Right, these Edomites, because they're mortals and they think in a mortal way, they really think they've done something because, you know, like they've had a good little run, innit? Multiple runs. They had a good little run as the Greeks. They had a good little run as the Romans, and they've had a good little run now calling themselves Europeans. But they really think that that represents something big in the grand scheme of eternity. But you got to understand, like, your rulership as compared to the eternal kingdom of Israel, is but a speck. It's just like a grain of sand at the beach. It's almost insignificant, but the only importance being that it had to exist to lead to the kingdom to come. Well, if you compare the length of your kingdom to the length of our kingdom, how can you compare eternity to a little 400-year thing?
Anything that's having a lot of time.
So you think you've been doing it, and it's a short thing. The Lord's bringing you to a short and destructive end. Man ain't even been ruling for 1,000 years, and they really think they're onto something. Yeah, you gonna bottle it just like Arsenal, man. Right there. Yeah, cool.
It's Joel 20 verse 8. He shall fly away as a dream and shall not be found. Yea, he shall be chased away as a vision of the night.
Yeah, you Edomites one day will not be here on the earth. No one will see you. No one will hear from you. You won't have your assets. You won't have anything, man. You'll just be gone, vanquished from the earth.
Yeah, you're not gonna have no reputation. Well, you don't have reputation, it's the bad one. But you got no prestige. Everyone's just gonna know he's the wicked man. And the vilest of all nations. That's how the people are gonna remember you.
You got rooted out of paradise.
Mm-hmm.
No more melons. No more pineapples.
Scripture say you should have shame for glory. You know, that's what you're gonna receive. You ain't gonna glorify you and what you achieved and why you was in power. How you dominated the earth. No one's gonna care.
What did he achieve?
Well, no, just the fact that he was dominating over nations, man. Then no one's gonna care about that, man. You're gonna be nothing.
They ain't gonna dominate like we're gonna dominate.
I also which saw him shall see him no more, neither shall his face any more behold him.
Yeah, that's the land of Edom, because that's really your land. And you're not even gonna have that, because the Lord believes in poetic justice.
Mm-hmm.
So you decided that you wanted to take everyone's inheritance, so you're gonna end up with no inheritance, and that's poetic.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? That's poetic. So even the inheritance that the Lord gave you, he's gonna take it away from you, pursuant to Numbers the 19th. You know, it talks about
going to Judah.
Yeah. Numbers raw. Trying to find it. Okay, yeah, it's 20, 24, Numbers 24. Numbers 24 and 18, and Edom shall be a possession, Seir also shall be a possession for its enemies, and Israel shall do valiantly. So the Israelites, Judah, are going to possess that land that was supposed to be Esau's inheritance. They're not even going to have that, man.
That's a big old land, man. Decent sized land. Because there ain't going to be no Edomites there. So, you know.
Pursuant to Obadiah, the 18th verse, man.
Yeah.
The wicked shall be cut off, man. And rightfully so. Rightfully so. There's the genocide is the proper judgment, because you Edomites are you're incompatible with life. You're not even meant to be here. Like, realistically, that's why you age the way you age. Like, that's a sign for you. Like, you're not even meant to be here, because you get old quick. Like, by the time you're 20, you look 50. That should show you that you're not meant to be here. I'm a lying, like, that's literally built into your DNA that you shouldn't be here. Like, so you just look down bad. Yeah, straight away. And the more you enjoy life, the worse it gets. Like, the more you drink, right, and the more you go out sunbathing. Like, the women that look the worst are the ones that have the most holidays. They get whacked. Yeah, out there looking crusty, blood, looking like a mummy, and they're like 50.
The skins are damaged up, man.
Let's go for Isaiah 14 and the stuff from 18.
Remember the mummy when he was sucking the life force out, man?
This Isaiah 14 and 18. All the kings of the nation, even all of them, lie in glory, everyone in his own house. But thou art cast out of thy grave like an abominable branch, and as the lament of those that are slain shall through with sword, that go down to the stones, to the pit, as a carcass trodden under feet. Thou shalt not be joined with them in burial, because thou hast destroyed thy land and slain thy people. The seed of evildoer shall never be known.
Right, yeah, you're gonna pay, man. And you are the seed of evildoers. You're sick people. You know, like I was reading the other day, like you know that the depleted uranium rounds, you use them depleted uranium rounds in Iraq, and it fucked up the American soldiers. The actual soldiers that were using the rounds, they weren't wearing the right protective equipment, because when you fire that round, the depleted uranium round, right, the reason it's effective is because the uranium is a very heavy metal, so it can penetrate the heavy plating of a tank, but it's fucking uranium, so it's fucking radioactive. So when you fire the weapon, right, the dust that usually comes from the firing of a shell, it, yeah, sitting in the tank. You're sitting in the tank, so it's all you're breathing it all in.
You know what I read though? I read this recently about that, right? Because the reason why they call it depleted, right? Because it's been I don't know, neutralized or whatever, right? You know, he's talking the most bollocks, right? He says that, yeah, he says it's depleted, there's no harm, no nothing. But like I mentioned about the American soldiers who were using it, even they were getting fucked up by it.
Yeah,
because it's not meant to be now. It's not meant to be up in your system. You know what I'm saying? It's like Esau's kinetic action. It's the same thing for blowing people up, man. It's the same shit, right? But saying depleted rain don't mean it ain't fucking harmful.
Yeah,
you see him talking shit.
That's why.
Percentages, man.
But even in the training, they're supposed to be wearing protective clothing, but they never issued it.
No.
Yeah. So then the American soldiers themselves, they didn't give a fuck about them. They were getting. So think of all the pain you're causing. The soldiers themselves catching cancers, dropping dead. Not only that, they would go and impregnate their woman. The woman would either have miscarriages, or the child would come out with deformities. Yeah. So it's the same thing that happened when they were using the Agent Orange. The same exact. So they ain't learned from Agent Orange. They're still doing the same thing.
Because it's stupid.
They don't give a fuck. And then obviously the arena that you're actually using the weapon in now becomes toxic. So the Iraqi kids were being born with looking like X-Men, looking like something out of the hills of eyes.
And taller than 1 foot.
Yo, it's mad. But then you'd think the great Esau, the lover of the earth, Mr. Green, Mr. Economical, Mr. Green Energy, Mr. I care about the environment, Greta Thunberg, Captain Planet, yeah? This man that loves all the children and wants to take care of everybody, and I'm Tony, they're still using the weaponry. They shipped it over to Ukraine. That's why the Bible says he's going to destroy them which destroyeth the earth. He knows that using that weaponry not only destroys his own soldiers, it destroys the other army soldiers, it destroys the environment, and has long-lasting effects for anyone living in that region, and he doesn't give a fuck.
This is what we know him as, right?
This man's the devil, but he gonna come on his high moral horse. And where's Vocab Malone? This is what I'm saying. Where's guys like Vocab Malone saying, "Oh, the Bible says love thy neighbor," but he running up on us?
He sounds like patriotic. He can't speak against Americans.
Vocab don't care about whoever's gonna get messed up off the back of that. He just cares that we call ourselves black people, you know.
So we know our place. You know, so we know our place, you know.
Assholes, man.
Let me just grab this quickly, man. You know, because this is what we know Esau as. Not the savior of the earth, not Captain Planet and all this bullshit, right? This is Revelation 6, verse 4. And they went out another horse that was red, right? That's you guys, right? And power was given to him that sat there on to take peace from the earth. That's what you do. You take peace from the earth. You cause misery wherever you go.
Warmonger.
You know?
He's a war general.
Yep.
That's what Esau's good at, man. War. Weaponry.
Because your blessing is to live by the sword. That's what you go around the earth doing.
And one guy said that. He was like, listen, the Edomites, and this is so-called white man. He said, you guys need to realize that the white man was built up on the earth. He rapidly expanded through the sword. He rapidly expanded through Africa, South America, all the regions where he went into. He went there on some brutal. He was so brutal. Listen, I gotta say this again. The man was so brutal that you had natives in Brazil that ran into the jungle. Esau was so brutal. They ran into the jungle and told their children, anyone that's a human is a demon. So you can't even go preach to these. Listen, this is what we do know. The spirit of the Lord better be with you. If you go into them jungles of Brazil, the spirit of the Lord better be with you, man. Because they're taught from a child, because of the brutality that Esau put on them, they said, listen, if you see anyone that ain't you, just kill them instantly. Because we don't want to go through what this man put us through. That's how demonic and evil this man was when he went over to the Americas. He didn't build himself up through love and negotiation and mutual benefit. He built himself up on some gangster shit. He's the original gangster. He's the original muscle man, the original heavy. He come in, break legs, blow shit up, and tell you what to do, give you a bad deal, and give you an offer you cannot refuse. You're gonna take the 1%, and I'm gonna take the 99%.
Love it.
You're gonna enjoy it.
It sounds like WF.
You and your children are gonna go over there. You're gonna pick rubber. But what about our crops? We need to eat. Don't worry about eating. Go and pick my rubber. Oh, you didn't pick enough rubber? You see your little daughter there? Take off her hands. This is what Esau was actually doing. How they built their wealth up in the world. This is the reality, and they did that in Africa. They did that in the Caribbean, right? Them guys were over there on the plantations. There weren't no workers' rights. They were going evil on people, grotesque. The most heinous of punishments to put the fear into the people to get them to do exactly what he wants, which was to profit. This is the reality of the people that we're dealing with. The same man like Vocab that want to come on their high horse and talk about love thy neighbor and want to cite all these scholars, but these same scholars, where was they? Where was they? When the Native American Indians are getting scalped and butchered, where was all the love thy neighbor?
Them Puritans, God, where was it? You know?
Where was the love thy neighbor then? Where was the for God so loved the world then? They forgot about that?
Yeah, you didn't come down and start singing hymns with the natives, man.
Man took peace from the earth. He influenced brother to fight against brother. So going back to the Julius Caesar thing, then they used the exact same tactics on the Native American Indians. They used the tactics that were used in Gaul in the Americas. That's why they turned tribe against each other or took advantage of a beef that one tribe might have, with the intention that once they've helped them beat the other tribe, they then go and conquer that tribe, divide and conquer. So even when they're making the deal with the one tribe, it was never meant to be a permanent deal. It was just a means to an end. That's why the Bible says he put his hand against such as that would have peace with him. He's a devil. And we're supposed to just sit here and be like, nah, it's not all of them, and you know, love thy neighbor and love your enemy. No, you can just suck out. That's what you can do.
Yep.
Yeah.
So they went out another horse that was red, and power, which is rulership. Esau had the dominion, right? As is prophesied to have. Esau is the end of the world. So Esau's been given that power, and he's been given, you know, the sword and all that kind of stuff to rule. That's how he rules, right? And it was given to him that sat there on to take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another.
Yeah, the 2 world wars orchestrated by Esau, Edom. Where was all the peace and love then? And the majority of those nations were Christian nations. Where was the peace and love and the willingness to negotiate and come to a peaceful conclusion? There weren't none. It was all about manipulating the world for money and gain and power towards this new world order. Esau don't give a damn. 2 world wars, you know, and these men are trying to come up on and they're looking for a third now, and they're trying to come on their moral high horse, trying to tell us that we're the threat to life on earth, the Israelites.
Yeah, you know, going for a third, giving man depleted uranium to stir things up, to make it spicy, you know.
This man created a weapon so destructive and used it like it was nothing.
Casually, yeah. And that's what he says. There was given unto him a great sword. Right, because he don't deal with conventional weapons. He got them extra shit in the
scorched earth,
yeah, type weapons in it. You know, back in the hangar. You know, when Esau wants to leave conventional warfare, man, he could do it. You know, because I was thinking about that the other day. You know, you watch these. Shock and Awe was bad when we watched it on the TV. It was mad, yeah. But they were just regular bombs, isn't it? Right? So you know, so cool, right? And these might destroy buildings, might level a building down, man. But a nuke now, level a city, many buildings from one.
Vaporize people
Yeah,
indiscriminately.
that's why it's a weapon of mass destruction. It's not even on a normal type level, bro. It's unreal. It's stupid. But you saw gas with the power, drunk with the power.
And
you
he
know?
thought it'd be a good idea to just build bare of them.
Yeah,
This guy, man, and this is what I'm saying, man. This guy here, and think of the money. If you want to know a man's heart, look at what he spends his money on. If I see a man, right, and he's spending his money on cars, I know that's what's in his heart. He loves cars. If you see a man and he's just spending his money on women, that nigga love women. Yeah? Whatever a man puts his money into, that's what he loves. So when you see a man and his money is flowing into the guns and the military, that's because he loves that. He loves it.
Most of the budget goes on.
Most of the budget goes on the military, and guess what? They need to keep using these weapons in order to justify making more. Anyway, let's keep it moving. I want to go back to John. You finished? What you got? Yeah. Esau, boy.
This is the book of Jeremiah.
And then he'll make a movie showing how wicked they are, and then everything just carries on like nothing happened. Like the movie The Lord of War.
Yeah, I was thinking Nicolas
He
Cage.
just exposed how it all works in a movie.
The racket.
And made you pay to go watch it. Think about it, like the same man that own the companies, they own these film studios. So they told on them so, made you pay to watch it, but they're still doing it. Yo, Esau is one piece of shit, man. Don't tell vocab that though. We're the worst. Great Millstone, we're the problem.
Oh, no. It's the book of Jeremiah 13 and 23. Can the Ethiopia change his skin, or the leopard his spots? Then may ye also do good that are accustomed to do evil.
Right, the greatest trick that Esau does is like every 10, 20 years, he pretends that he's changed from the fuckery that he did previously. But he hasn't changed. Esau has not changed whatsoever. It's the same devil,
Same lies.
same liar, same death merchant. They try to make it look like they're different. No, Esau ain't different at all. Yeah, he do whatever he's got to do to maintain, and he don't give a damn.
Might is right.
Might is right, 100%. All right, let's jump back to John 11. Are you on Jeremiah? Oh yeah, finish off. Yeah, finish off Jeremiah. Finish off Jeremiah, and then we'll go back around. Oh yeah, okay. Yeah. So let's go back to Daniel, man. We're not on a tangent. Yeah. Go back to Daniel first. That's the one. Or going into their military, because it all went round. It's Esau. Esau is he's the military man. That's why the world fears him, because he dominates the world with the ability to kill indiscriminately.
Right. And he, comeuppance, man. No one really answer that. Even Russia at this moment in time don't really want to.
Russia's Esau.
Back in Daniel chapter 2, verse 39 of everything, right? So after these shall another kingdom inferior to thee, and another third kingdom of brass, which shall bear rule over the earth. Right. So going back through it now, Daniel was telling Nebuchadnezzar, Babylon's the head of gold. And after this, these kingdoms are going to come after thee. They're going to be inferior to you, though, because even though militarily these nations that came after them will end up being stronger. That's why the kingdom were taken down. Right, the kingdom in itself wasn't as opulent, wasn't as splendid as the Babylonians. Man, we know about the Babylonians hanging gardens.
When you really think about it, war is not productive, man. Yeah. And this is the reality. Like, people need to understand. Like, that's why the military-industrial complex here is demonic, because when you make war the economy, what is the purpose of war? To destroy it, right? So when war is your economy, and the purpose of your economy is based around destroying and rebuilding, that's very it is ultimately
progressive.
It's not progressive. It's the waste of human productivity, because all time is money. That's why they say time is money, because what's money? When you pay a man money, you're paying for his time and his skill. Yeah, right. So time, if you spend time on one thing, that means you're not spending time on another. So if your time is being spent on war all the damn time, then what about all the other areas of life which are actually productive and actually build things like education, like healthcare?
This is why your education suffering. This is why your healthcare is suffering. You know, all the rest of the whole nation suffering. Infrastructure. I mentioned, you said that already.
Yeah,
It's
because
suffering.
there was war. When you're building an infrastructure to support an army, it's to support destruction of an infrastructure. It's a, so this man, he's out of balance, man. It's mad.
He's not Rome first.
Yeah, Rome was just conquering and reconquering, and every time you're conquering, you're not getting more out of it because you're not even giving it time for productivity to happen. You're just reconquering an area you already conquered. So what's there for you to take anymore? Nothing. Esau's
Couldn't pay soldiers, you know, all that kind of stuff.
they're parasitic. It becomes very parasitic in nature. There's no prolific. That's why in our kingdom, what does it say? The men are gonna put away the swords and that and pick up plowshares and pruning hooks because that's actually productive. You can support people of food, farming, like yeah. What was that? What was the Capleton song? You're planting acres and acres. Yeah, that's how.
And because that's the problem, right? Farming's gone down.
Yep.
You know, in the West,
Food is expensive.
Food is expensive, right? And there's a food shortage, right? But
there's a shortage of carpets, but ain't a shortage of bullets.
Yeah.
And entertainment as well. Entertainment's another thing that's not really productive. When you got a society dominated by war and entertainment, those two things are not really productive. Like LeBron James isn't productive. Like having like millions of men spend so much time to get a small spot to play a game is not really productive. What if all those men actually tried to learn a skill that was actually productive to everyone around them? Not saying there's not a place for entertainment, there is, but the amount of energy and time and resources, it's not really that useful unless you're trying to distract people.
And that's an important thing in this world.
So yeah, man, Esau. Anyway, let's keep it going. We could pick Esau's kingdom apart because that's what we're here to do, to nitpick on and criticize and shit on Esau's kingdom, man.
Right, so yeah, and after these shall another kingdom arise inferior to thee, and another third kingdom of brass which shall bear rule over all the earth. And the fourth kingdom.
Well, if you want to look at it, I'll say this: the Persians were known for having a more merciful rulership. They conquered. Oh my God, yeah, but that's actually true. If you go back in the history, they made an effort to, when they conquered people, not to completely destroy them and not to completely enslave them, to kind of like incorporate them into the kingdom in a more positive manner. Like if you go back and read the history, they were a lot more merciful than the fucking Romans. Yeah, because Romans will fuck your shit up forever. Yeah, and put you into the dirt, and that'll be it for you. But the Persians didn't really want to rule like that. And the Lord kind of put that spirit on them, and that's why they allowed us to rebuild the temple and things like that, because they had that kind of thing of, we don't really want to we don't want to just completely crush everyone, because that's hard to maintain as well. You know what I mean? When you're just going around crushing everyone.
Because when you read about, going back to these things, what's going on, Antiochus was going this place, that place, and there's revolts everywhere, man. It's so hard to maintain it. He might have gone to one battle, lost that one, has to go to another battle, Arthur might have won that one.
Everyone hates you.
Yeah, it's just long.
Yeah, so that, I mean,
man would come back fuming, but you know what I'm saying? Man has to go around the temple with so fuming. You know what I'm saying? The Most High judged him, though.
Yeah, but the scriptures speak about Esau ruling the people with anger. You know, he's an asshole. He always has been. So you can go and research that yourself, but the Persians, they had a little bit more about them. They were heathen still, but they had a little bit more of a merciful way of ruling.
And the fourth kingdom shall be as strong as iron, for as much as iron breaks in pieces, because iron is a hard substance, right? Harder than the gold and the silver and the brass that came before it. That's what it represents, right? Military, they were very mighty. And as iron that breaketh all these, so it shall break in pieces and bruise. And whereas thou sawest the feet and toes, part of pots, clay and part of iron.
Right, and you know what? These Esau still worships the Roman Empire today. Of all the empires in history, the Roman Empire is worshipped. Right? In fact, there's a movie that perfectly shows how Esau thinks about Rome. But there's a few ones. You've got the Adjustment Bureau, and there's a scene in it. If you know the movie, it's got Matt Damon. I think it's Matt Damon in there. Is it Matt Damon? Goofy ass Matt Damon. One acting. One that dude's just got one way of acting. But anyway, they had Matt Damon in there, but was it Matt Damon or was it? I don't know. Anyway, I think it was Matt Damon. And in the film, the premise of the film was that you have angels that adjust humanity to try and get humanity to be progressive. And their thing is, whenever they leave the earth under the complete control of humanity, everything goes downhill. So he was talking about, oh, we took you to the heights of this, then you took us to the lows of this. And what he said in there was, we gave you the Roman Empire, and then you gave us the Dark Ages. So what he's basically saying is, in this movie, is that Rome was a pinnacle. Rome was a height. When it wasn't. These guys were devils. They were wicked. Evils were multiplied in the earth, just like the Greeks. The Romans were demons. And they had a self-righteous view of themselves as just like Esau now. We're the enlightener. We're enlightening these barbarians. We're saving them. Esau did the same thing when they reborn themselves. Oh, we're coming out with this Christianity and we're saving these people by chopping off their arms and putting them in slavery. You know what I mean? And putting them in ghettos. And you should be thankful to us. Yeah. This is the same way the Romans were acting. Because this is Rome all over again, and these are the same Romans. And they really worship that shit.
Yeah, this world is like a blueprint of that. That's why it's like a second coming of Rome. You know, the architecture is back, the democracy and the party systems is all back. You know, the liberalness is back.
We let the people decide. That's bullshit. Rome was corrupt as fuck, and that's why it imploded on itself. That's always been the same. They was corrupt. It was run by a few rich elites here, who again used the mechanism of Rome to profit themselves. But in the end, because what they're doing wasn't proper stewardship, gets to the book of Sirach, the 10th chapter. Yeah. When the way of your rulership becomes self-serving, right, and parasitic, eventually the host dies. This is what corruption brings. It's inevitable. The bribery and corruption, and when you run something solely for your own benefit, eventually you will suck the host dry and it will die. And that's what happened in Rome. The elites, the patricians, utilized Rome and made it look like Rome was for everyone and Rome was for all the citizens. And at first it was like that to a degree, but then it became more and more corrupt, and the average Roman citizen became poorer and poorer and poorer and poorer and poorer, and the people running the country were claiming they were giving them representation, but they really weren't. And all the laws that were passed were in the favor of the patricians. All the wars that were fought, all the slaves that were brought in, and the slaves started taking away jobs from the normal Roman citizens. So the normal Roman citizens would complain about the slaves. Because if the rich people got a bunch of slaves doing all the work, what work does a normal Roman citizen do? Nothing. They're unemployed, which is why they ended up on welfare. Hence the bread and the circuses. Now, Esau's doing the same thing. He's replacing the people, his citizens, with illegal immigrants and robots. And then now they're complaining. We don't have no work.
Well, they give you a Netflix subscription. Now you got to take it in your own house.
Yeah.
You ain't gonna go to the job.
Playoffs.
Yeah, you gotta go to the stadiums and that. You sit inside your house and watch it.
While you're being disenfranchised in your own kingdom, that's supposed to be there for your benefit as well. But it's not. Who does it benefit? The senators, the politicians, and their friends, the chief men.
You know, it just came to mind just now, because I never really looked up with the patricians. I'm assuming it comes from a father or something. So,
yeah, they were like the founding families.
But I was going to say, because America had the same thing about the founding fathers, and they're all Masons, and they're all...
Yeah, the great family. There's certain families in America, but the Clintons and the Bushes, they're like established families, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's the same shit.
It's the same bullshit, man. And then, like I said, it becomes parasitic. When you rule, you're not supposed to rule in a selfish way where everything just benefits you. Because eventually your rulership just becomes parasitic, and whatever you're ruling over ends up just dying. You can't rule like that. You got to give a little, right? And that's how, if you look at the way Israel's set up, The king wasn't set up just to be, yeah, everyone works for me, everyone give me everything you got, right? It's not supposed to be like that. The king has a role to rule over and serve the people, and he gets his benefit, but the people get their benefit.
Get the tithes and that kind of stuff, man. Esau will take 20%, he'll take 40%, they will tax on everything you buy.
Esau
Everything. You tax
right,
you to hell, man. Subject to payments.
Esau, like in this society, he says he taxes the rich. What he means is he taxes the people trying to make 100 grand, 200 grand, 300 grand.
That's who he's
but the multi-millionaires don't pay none.
Nice.
This is scum. But that's what they did that's what they were doing in Rome. The same thing today.
And all that does is stop you from getting so-called rich. It stops you getting into different brackets and that.
Right.
Because it's hard because you're being taxed the fuck. When you're an established millionaire, you ain't got to worry about all of that. You got ways to avoid that sort of stuff. You put it in this fund, you put it in that bank, you're good. But the little man trying to work his way up into them triple figures and that kind of stuff, it's difficult.
But in this world, if you're a millionaire, you're still a little man. Because a millionaire ain't what it used to be.
Nope.
If you were like 200 years ago, then a millionaire was somebody. Now a millionaire, what can you buy? Like one house.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's Esau's system is designed for the super elite and then to crush everybody down.
So this is the book of Ecclesiasticus 10 and 1. A wise judge would instruct his people, and the government of a prudent man is well ordered.
Right. A government of a prudent man is well ordered. For what reason? To help and to benefit the people so that they can flourish under good rulership, under good rules, so that you establish trust. That was what the government was there for. So when the government would ensure what? Just weights and balances. That was the original reason why a man would put his face on a coin. Because when he's saying, listen, you see this coin with my face on it, it's a just weight and balance. And if anyone fucks with that, they're gonna be punished under my rule. I'm gonna make sure of it. That's the whole point. If you're ruling over a people, your government is there to establish that the laws are in place so people can operate with each other with trust, and that brings productivity. Because scamming is not productive. Stealing is not productive because it just makes people not want to work because someone can come and just steal everything you have. The law, when the laws are in place, a people will naturally become productive and naturally flourish. When you don't follow the laws, that's when you get all this corruption. Now all of a sudden you tell a man to build a building, he ain't building it right. He's cutting corners. He's fucking mashing up the health code. Now you got a situation where down the line people are dying off the back of that, and then it has to be built again. All that's not productive. So when you keep the laws allows for people to grow and be productive. And the more productive the people are, well, the more the rulers are gonna get. But if you're all short-term minded and you just wanna squeeze the people like a boa constrictor, that's not productive. The people die because everything becomes a scam. No one can't trust each other. You know?
Oh no. It's Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 5. Yea, also because he transgressed by a wine, his mentality, his philosophy, man. He don't think right, man.
It's always trying to get one over on you. Everything has to be there's an ulterior motive in a way to just suck you dry. It's a vampirism about this society. From the education system and the student loans, everything's a trap. And that's why the whole thing is falling apart before everyone's eyes. The banking system, everything. Because these people are greedy and corrupt. And a society cannot run on that. Eventually, it's all going to fall apart.
House of cards, man.
It's a house of cards. Kingdom must be built on truth.
So he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell. Like brother say, he's too greedy, man. You know? So, and it's as death. Everything that he goes through ends up being destroyed. You know? And cannot be satisfied, but gather unto him all nations. That's why he interested in bringing everybody around, you know? More people, the more the merrier, because he gonna make money off you, man. But cheap labor and all that.
But then he'll go to the UN, go to the G7 and talk about how, oh, we're trying to develop the nations. We're trying to. No, you're not. No, you're not. With my man John Perkins, the economic hitman, already laid down the blueprint of what you do with these nations. You ain't trying to develop nothing. You ain't even trying to help your own people. That's why you're outsourcing jobs, America, Europe outsourced all their jobs to other nations so the corporations can make more profit. But the people themselves that used to work in those corporations don't make no money no more. And that's a big part of why the West is imploding on itself, because you got more and more people in the West who basically are not unemployed. I mean, who are unemployed.
Cost the government more money now to support. How is that productive?
It's not productive.
These men then get drunk because they're depressed and shit, you know?
Right.
Because
And everyone's trying to use social media to turn their life around. The women have got to be jumping on OnlyFans. Man, them are trying to start up a football, a podcast, because like a lot of the work out there is gone. A lot of the factories that a normal average man could do is being taken away. AI is taking their jobs. AI now is going to be the new rappers. So you ain't even going to be able to be a rapper, because they got AI rappers. They're going to have AI models now, because you don't need real models no more. They got AI generated women now and AI generated men now. So soon all the model agencies are just going to be AI generated models. So what the fuck do you need models for? You don't really need writers no more, because they got AI writing everything. And that's all sounds good and well and profitable for the company. But for the person who was doing them jobs, what do they do now?
work at McDonald's.
Universal basic income. Now, a man of wisdom would see that the earth was made for people to live.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like now the earth is not for people, the earth is for corporations and the people who own them.
Yep.
So what does everyone else do? When you become surplus to requirement in a corporate world and the whole world is based around corporatism, then what the fuck do you do? You're obsolete.
And you know, in America, they don't even allow you to be like a self-sufficient.
Yeah, they don't want you to do that.
They don't want you to have
We
gardens,
don't own
they
no
want you to
fucking
have
land.
farm, like, yeah, that's what I'm saying. They don't want you to have anything. You know? So they really put you in that corner. And you're just there.
Kingdom, and this kingdom ain't for people. Our kingdom is gonna be for people. Everyone is gonna have their place. This kingdom, a lot of people don't have no place in this kingdom. They're becoming obsolete by the day. More and more people, their jobs, their skills are becoming obsolete.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't give a fuck, because as long as the company's making a bit more profit, who cares? We laid off about 2,000 people. We just saved. Let's read that on.
So when I click on it. So we go for Ecclesiasticus 14 and the I'm starting from 3. You say, riches are not comely for a niggard, and what should an envious man do with money?
And that's Esau Edom. These guys, they make their money and their wealth, and they don't care about helping nobody else. They're nothing but Ebenezer Scrooge. And as I said, Esau's not changed. That was a problem back then in Britain. You had all the rich men that owned the plantation and owned the workhouses. They were making all this money, and you had real poor people in Britain living like dogs. And a lot of them was Jake, but they were living like low. And a lot of them still living like that. People think about Britain and you think, oh, like it's a rich place. Listen, go Newcastle. Yeah, go Manchester. Yeah, go Leeds. Go to any of these northern cities and these coastal cities out there on the coast. Yeah, these crackers out there. Oh, I'm not even gonna lie to you. These crackers are down bad. They be down bad. That's why you can make a lot of money selling drugs out there, because that's all they got to do. Smoke crack and there ain't no jobs out there. There ain't nothing out there. Them men are down bad. Most of the money is being made in London by a few bankers. They shut down all the factories even that them man had. The coal mines and everything. Them men are out there down bad. Go Birmingham, down bad. But it was bad back then too. They had the children doing working the chimney sweeping and working the workhouses, and that's why what's that guy's name? The writer, fucking Charles Dickens.
Yeah.
He writ like Oliver Twist and all that stuff, and Ebenezer Scrooge. Those were actual books that were written as a social commentary on the way Britain was being run. Because you had man that had all the money and then just bare poor people, and they weren't Ebenezer Scrooge. They weren't trying to help no one. They weren't being charitable. It was all about making money. That really hasn't changed. Yeah, go on.
No, just
Either they did just enough, but really they ain't done nothing. They do just enough to keep the people quiet enough. Like, okay, we've done a little thing. Just shut up now. But they still own all the land, and they still got wealth that people just don't understand. That's why they're about to worship these fucking the king and the queen, and they try to act like normal people and hide a lot of their wealth and walk around here answering phones in pubs. Hi, yes, it's Prince William. I'm like one of you. Look at me. I'm in the pub. And you're just thinking, bro, these guys are demonic entities, man. And they don't give a fuck about you. They will eat your children. Oh, yes. I just donated 5 grand out of my 550 trillion to these children because I'm a good person. These fuckers, man. Did you see that shit? Did you see that picture, man? Man's in the pub answering the phone. Hi, it's William. Can I take your order? All that bullshit just to make themselves look like they're down with the people. Fucking assholes, man.
That's the word. He that gathers, he that gathers by defrauding is also gathering for others. That shall spend his good righteous.
And that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna take all that wealth and we're gonna build up the earth and run things properly like how it's supposed to be done. Esau's really a miser. He only lets people have in order to take. He really don't believe in nobody else having anything but him. He likes the idea that I have and you don't, because that's his mentality. When he sees someone else with something, even if he has it, it hurts him on the inside. You know them?
Enjoy it,
Why you got it as well? They're sadistic like that. Esau really likes to see people impoverished and suffering, and that's what they like. They love the idea of look at them fucking people flies on them. They love it. They don't have no empathy.
And that gives him great power to abuse the weak.
They love it,
He
man.
loves that.
They love to impoverish people. They want to help, because if they really wanted to help the people in the earth the right way, they could do it. They could do it. They know how to do it. They don't want to do it. We're trying to fight. It's a fight against world poverty. You believe that? You believe these men are fighting against poverty? You believe that shit? Come on, man.
No, no. I say, he that is evil to himself, to whom will he be good?
These elite level Edomites are now consuming their own people. They're consuming their own people. So why do you think they give a damn about you? When their own people, they got living in tent cities and down bad. Families just on a mountain of debt, now they got to live in a van or live under a bridge. And Esau would rather come and take the kids than help them. But as soon as they got some war they want to do, they can find money out of nowhere. Or you got these super rich Edomites that have money that cannot be finished. They could go and help these people under the bridge. They could pick one bridge, turn up that day and say, okay, we're going to sort you out. And it would cost them next to nothing to get these people back on their feet. Because some of these people, they just fell in a bad way. They could get them back on their feet and get them productive in society. You know, except the guys that are on crack and shit. I'm talking about they got to go rehab. But you know, you got people out there that are homeless that they just need a little bit of help. Sometimes with these people, 5 grand, 10 grand could just turn their whole life around.
Man, clean them up, you know, they
ain't gonna do that, man.
No, get a bank account.
They ain't gonna do that, but they'll donate money to an abortion program. Oh, see, I just gave 20 million to Planned Parenthood. Yeah, that's how the man roll.
He that is evil to himself, to whom will he be good? He shall not take pleasure in his goods. There is none worse than he that envies himself, and this is the recompense of his wickedness. And if he doeth good, he doeth it unwillingly.
Yeah, anytime Esau do anything and you think it has some kind of benefit, he was backed into a corner, and it's something he probably got to do to get the heat off him.
Some other type of motive.
And then he'll catch you on the back end. He'll figure out a way to catch you on the back end. He ain't gonna let you off like that.
Yeah, they wouldn't let MJ keep his money, man.
They're gonna find a way to destroy you, to take it back. But they don't really want to do no good for you. It's not in them to be like that.
And that's why it's essential that Esau runs all these industries, man. Because even so, you might spend all this money, right? It still goes through them.
Yeah,
it's a way of recycling money for them. So they know, we give him a record deal, we're gonna give him 100 mil. They know it's coming back.
100 mil loan.
They know it's coming back.
It has to come back because it's a loan.
You know, but they know it's coming back. They ain't at risk of losing any money.
No.
You know, because my guy's gonna go to Ferrari. You're gonna go to this Esau owns. You're gonna buy his Ferrari. You're gonna buy his thing, and it's just gonna get recycled back, man. Because they own the company. So you know,
Scum. Now they're trying to shut down through COVID and that. They shut down all the moms and pops that were left, all the little family businesses, so the corporations can take over. So where you could have had your little store that you own, now you got to beg for a fucking counter job in Asda, and even them jobs are going because it's self checkout and that.
Yep. Nothing safe. You know, they got Japanese burger flippers, bro. You know what I'm saying? So ain't no,
Yeah, man.
you know, nothing safe.
Right, it's safe out here.
You know.
And at the last, he will declare his wickedness. The envious man has a wicked, the envious man has a wicked eye.
The envious, that's what Esau is. He's an envious man. That's why he'll look at a man and in Micah 2:1. Esau will look at a man and his inheritance, and he wants it. He wants it. He don't want to share it. He don't want you to have any. If he could do with you having none, he gonna do it. The so-called Native American Indians. That's why they ended up with less and less land. Cause this got gold on it. Alright, y'all gotta leave. You're gonna have to. See that part over there? You can have that. Wait, hold on. It's got iron on there. Wait. You can't have that. Go.
These were Christians, right?
And he's a good Christian. They were coveting. They envious. Esau don't like to see you having nothing.
I know Esau don't know all the laws and that, but he's a 10. That should not covet.
You know how angry them Edomites get when you Jacob on TV showing off money you ain't got. They get fucking angry, man. It's like, no, niggas shouldn't have that. Niggas should not be having that. They don't like Jake or anyone else having land or money or anything. Esau don't feel comfortable. Like he gonna have to take it. That's why he's gone throughout the whole earth. And anyone that's got anything, they're gonna make sure that they get hold of that somehow, some way, some shape or form. Envious.
What I'm saying is parasitic, man. The way Esau behaves is parasitic to the earth, right? No one could be happy on this planet. And this earth was meant to be enjoyed.
Now, in the kingdom of heaven, the other nations are gonna have their own things. Now they're gonna have to pay tribute, but tribute is a lot better than what Esau's doing. They're gonna have their own lands. They're gonna be able to reap their crops. You pay your tribute, the rest is yours. You do what you want under the righteousness of our rule.
Like the Romans, they start a tribute, man, but as soon as they're running out, they
double it, triple it.
Man couldn't sustain that. Man couldn't feed his own clan, you know. But no, Romans didn't care. You better give it, or I'm gonna burn your village down.
Oh, they did that in India during the war. Winston Churchill, he caused the Great Indian Famine because he took all the grain out of India and left that man starving. Same thing in Ireland with the potato famine as well. You still don't give a fuck, man.
Yeah, that shit ain't righteous, man.
You're not supposed to rule like that, man. You gotta let people have what's theirs and sit there. Nah, I just want it all. Green, red eye, man. Demonic eye. And the scriptures speak about how covetous the eye is. I believe there's a record in the book Bury My Heart at Wounded Knee where it says like a tribe, when they would go to the Americas, because Jake had pearls, diamonds, gold, like it was just pearls, diamonds, and gold. So they were playing, the children would play with pearls like marbles and all them things, like, and it wasn't a big deal. Esau turn up and like, you know, man's thought he found El Dorado, yeah, and start chopping people up and killing people and doing all this madness. And they said they would send people, like, get someone to escape, send them to another island or another region to tell, and they would tell the people there, like, listen, when these people come, if you got gold or anything like that, hide it. Hide it, yeah. But obviously, because they can't travel fast enough, by the time they got there, it was always too late. Esau, don't let Esau know you got oil. Listen, that's what you don't want to do. Don't even let man know that you got apples, man, because he's just gonna want to come and take
opium,
poppy, opium, rubber. He's coming there, man, and he gonna want his cut, and his cut usually ends up being like 80 to 90%, 100% if he can get away.
Esau is tapped. He's tapped in the mind, right? Because he's giving the best and the fat of the earth. So he's going for it, man. He's coming for it. It's his.
Taking it all, man.
In his mind, it's his. So he's gonna come for it.
Demonic individual, man. Very demonic, man.
The devil, for sure.
I want to say, the envious man has a wicked eye. He turneth away his face and despise men. A covetous man's eye is not satisfied with his portion.
There's covetous man's eye is not satisfied with his portion. You got your inheritance, you got what's for you, but you want what someone else's has. And that is the beginning of war. That's why in the kingdom of heaven there ain't gonna be no war, because everyone is gonna have to sustain under their own inheritance and make it work. And so one nation is not gonna encroach. The Bible tells you, remove not your neighbor's landmark. So when the earth, when they get their inheritance, Moab can't come to Ammon and try and take, oh, I like that land, I want to take that. No. Or violate them at no, because we're going to be there to enforce. No. That's their land. You got your land, didn't it? Because that is the root of war. Usually the root of war is just covetousness. When we go back to the Quran, oh, they'd say religion is no, war doesn't happen because of religion. Ain't nobody warring because of religion. That's stupid. That's bizarre. You think a man is going to get up from where he is and go put his life in danger for religion? No, he wants spoils. They want land. And when they went over on the, oh, God wills it, the Crusades. What were they doing on the Crusades for? They wanted to get land. It wasn't nothing to do with religion. Religion was just the way they justify it, man. When they went into the Americas, oh, we need to spread Christianity. No, bro, you need to get some of that gold and silver. Because if there were no gold and silver and land there, you wouldn't be going there. Yeah? Evil, envious, man, covetousness. That's why the Bible says you're not supposed to covet thy neighbor's possessions, man. If you want something, yeah, buy it, man, righteously. Don't trade for it. Don't be just violating.
And the iniquity of the wicked rise up his soul.
I got two now. So I got Micah 2:1.
Yeah.
Right? Well, 2 and 2. This is actually myself on the top, right? It says, woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it's in the power of their hands. Again, Esau's the one in power. He's the one that gets to do all of this, man. Because no one, everybody he goes to, no one can really stop him doing what he's doing. Because he always attacks the weak. He always does. You know? Or he'll, you know, like with the Gadites, man. He beguiled them. He befriended them and, you know, and lied to them, man. Stabbed them in the back, essentially, because he's a serpent.
Man went around the world grave robbing. Man, literally, it's a real thing. He ran around the world grave robbing, man.
You know?
Man had time. No one else had time to do that. It's just him. Lord Shittlewitz running expedition. He's just going around paying the locals like pennies and just robbing man's uncle's grave and that. Yeah, let me hold that. Indiana Jones and that, man. You know what I'm saying? And they were looking for the witchcraft too. So they got all that. They got all the witchcraft of the nations. Esau holding that in position in their private libraries and vaults and things like that, man. And the ritualistic items, his crystal skulls and all that stuff. Esau got everyone's shit, man. And people are still trying to get it back to this day. And Esau's like, nah, finders keepers, man, losers weepers. That's how Esau's moving. These good Christians.
Find your own. It's verse 2, and they covet fields. They lust after your fields, man. I want to take that on the resources that's on that land. You know, maybe oil, diamonds, lithium, whatever it is, man. I want it because he can make use out of that, make money off that. He don't want you to make money off that and make you stronger. He don't want it to happen. And because you know these places, because he's ransacked that he goes, you know, he goes to foreign nations and cuts deals with them, man, because they can't farm that stuff themselves.
And then you got something called mercantilism, which goes into neo-colonialism. So like what you try and do is you if it needs be, you try and stop them from turning their raw materials into goods that they can sell to you. So you stop that. You're gonna sell me the raw materials like chocolate. A lot of chocolate is made in Europe. And them man, there's mans like in Romania and that, they're billionaires, man, off the chocolate. But the chocolate is coming from Ghana and South America, and they're buying it up for cheap bringing it to Europe, turning it into chocolate, and then selling it back expensive, right? And that's all what they set up, man. Or if they're gonna then export it over there, they make sure their company is the one that's running it there, so they can make the profit. So Esau's slick about the way he run that economics, man. He don't want anyone basically doing their own thing and making their own money, man.
And if you don't pay ball, you know, here's the next part, right? They convert things and take them by violence. Esau ain't afraid to burn the shit down.
Yeah, gun,
You know, bring gun diplomacy.
gunboat diplomacy. They used to turn up at people's ports and make you sign a deal with the cannons aimed at your port. That's how the British were making the negotiations in the world, man. And they still do that now.
All talks, man.
All talk. Like, all right, cool. You're looking at the deal like,
Yeah, well, okay.
this is fucked up.
Yeah.
That's why to this day, the ex-French colonies, France controls their monetary system, and France determines how much and if they can sell their resources. What? 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 You can talk to any Ivory Coast done and they'll tell you, man. And people, they're pissed right now. But France still doing it. It's so bad that they got exposed by the Italians. This is how mad it is. Even the Italian foreign minister said, listen, you're the one fucking up Africa because of the things you're doing. So it's like, it's not even hidden. They're still doing it. They didn't say, oh, you know what, man, this is wicked and evil. And where is Britain? Where is America saying, oh, man, you can't be doing that to the Africans. This needs to change today. But they want to talk about some Putin and this place is a fraud, man. Esau is just a gangster.
Yeah.
Just hustling people, escort, your blood clot, escort. You know, like, that's all these men are doing, extortion, man. It's sad.
And take them by violence and houses and take them away, so that they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage.
Right, a man in his own land is under oppression in his own land. Mad.
So Wisdom of Solomon chapter 2 verse 6 says, come on, therefore, let us enjoy the good things that are present, and let us freely use the creatures like as in our youth. They're all about using people, all about abusing people. And this is the mentality of the wicked. You know,
Like, if you can get away with it, do it. If you could get away with it, do it. That's their mentality.
Power is in their hand.
Yeah, do it
Right?
for as long as you can do it. And if you're making millions off it, if we could sell these people cigarettes, yeah, all the studies say it's giving them cancer. If we could hide that,
It's all right.
we can hide it.
They can pay for our shipments.
Yeah, we could deal with it down the line and we'll find a scapegoat to scapegoat it all on. And they did it. They did it. And then they made a movie about it and then made money off the movie. And no one went to jail.
And that cancer is one of the biggest killers in the world.
Yeah, they knew they already had people hooked. Promote it to the children.
Nicotine.
Nicotine. Now they got the vapes. He's this man of the devil. If you could do it, get away with it. These drug companies, if you could do it, get away with it. Hide that test, pay off that person.
Was the nicotine necessary? I did, isn't it? Yeah, to get my hopes on it.
Listen, as long as they're making millions upon millions, they don't give a fuck who dies, what dies. As long as they can get on that yacht, go down to Dubai and get the baddies on the yacht and shit on them and do all the freaky shit they want to do in unlimited cocaine, they don't give a fuck. They don't unlimited mountain of cocaine. That's what it's all about, man. They don't give a damn, man. They don't care. That's the way of the world, because the world's run by Esau. However you can make your money, don't worry about who it hurts or don't worry about all that. If we can pay off someone and we can hide it, like, don't worry, we'll worry about that later. That's Esau's kingdom.
Verse 7 says, let us fill ourselves with costly wine. You know, they be drinking the finest wines out there. Right? Expensive shit, right? And ointments, and let no flower of the spring pass by us. Let us crown ourselves with rosebuds before they be withered. Let none of us go without his part of our voluptuousness. Just like breathe, man.
Yeah, they want to enjoy every sensation.
Yeah.
Even that's why they're into sadism. They want to torture women and torture children, and these guys are sick, man. They want to experience every pleasure. Nothing is withholding from them, and that's why all that freakiness and all that demonic stuff, yeah, it's expensive work. Like, do you know how much it costs to fucking secure a child that's got no background, no nothing? Do you think that's cheap? Do you think a man working in Asda can secure a child? Them children are expensive. It's the most expensive trade. You think selling crack is the no? That's not how you make money. If you really want to make money in this world, so traffic people and children for the illicit use of the elites, and you are gonna be making that good money, man.
Well, you see it on what's that Liam Neeson film, man?
Taken.
Yeah, you see it in that, man. I got a very particular set of skills.
Yeah, man.
Know? But they're about to sell his daughter, man.
That's what the cartels run, and they get protection to do that. The cartels run people more than they run drugs, and the people they run in is children, 4-year-olds, 5-year-olds, 6-year-olds, and they do it to order too. So they know, okay, these people, you know what, I want to molest or I want to.
That's what handlers.
Yep.
You know, Jimmy Sauer's a handler.
Yep.
You know, all these types of guys, Prince Andrew, a handler. You know, he's there, or he's not so much of a handler. He's getting involved.
But they normally do both.
Yeah. You know, meet up on them private islands and all this stuff. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But this is the luxury what I was talking about. They want to get all this stuff, man.
Yep.
They don't want nothing to be healthy. No one's gonna tell them no. They want to do it. They're gonna do it.
Any desire they want, they can get it, man. It's provided for them. That's how these elites live.
Man, sucking out adrenochrome.
Yeah, anything they want. They the blood, everything, man.
Yeah.
You know, I was watching one documentary. The guy, he's actually a billionaire, and he decided to do a sting operation, and he was on the boat with the dudes with 54 children. Man had the 54 children and the cocaine. They provided the cocaine and 54 children. And then it was meant to be the CPS. It was a sting operation that they put together. So this was kids from like South America, because that's what they do. That's really where they get the kids from. They don't really like to get the kids from Western countries because it's messy, unless they're going to be molesting them in the care homes, foster children. But the best children are just from the third world, because once you take them away from that country, that's it. It's done. Like, you could kidnap children in Brazil, ain't no one looking for them youths again, and they're disappearing, right? So they had 54 children, and they was meant to be that they were to give a signal, and the CPS and the government would come through, swoop in, right? But the woman that was meant to do that didn't turn up, right? So the guy's like, yeah, we're gonna bring the children and the cocaine. And man's like, fuck, what do we do? Because we don't actually want to do nothing. But if they don't do nothing, then they're gonna get killed, right? And then but what they ended up doing was saying, okay, you've proven that you could provide the children and the cocaine. I want to discuss further business. And they were like, yeah. And when he went through it with them, bro, these men were making hundreds of millions off these children, providing the children for molestation, for murder, for snuff, whatever they want to do, man. And then the guy he was working with says, listen, man, like, we can't catch these people because I can't train normal everyday people to do sting operations, because the kind of people they're used to dealing with, I can't train you to be like them. They're dealing with the rich people, showing you they know that all that child trafficking, that you're not looking for no random weirdo. It's the elites. They're the ones with the 54 kids on the yacht, man. And when they're done with them, dispose of them, and you can order in another 54. You pay, do what you want with them, kill them, torture them, and they love that shit. This is the truth, man. And a lot of people don't want to deal with it, man. It's a joke thing out here, man. It gets spooky up there, man. These people do what they want, man. They're drunk with power and blood. They're witches and warlocks.
None of us go without his heart of our voluptuousness. Let us leave tokens of our joyfulness in every place. For this is our portion, and our lot is this. So Esau knows this is down the road, so he's gonna make the most of it. He's gonna be the devil, the most biggest devil we can possibly be.
Do us that will. Yeah. Freedom, liberty.
He got a short time. He ain't gonna last forever, so he gonna make the most of it, man. That's why he's going so crazy. Says, let us oppress the poor righteous man. So you think they care? They think your situation, they don't care about your situation. You know, they only care about themselves and what they can take from this world, man. And like I say, you got a whole public agenda from WEF, you know, that no one's gonna own anything. Like, they're probably just saying it now, you know, that you want to own nothing, and they're telling you you're going to be happy, man, but you're just going to have nothing.
The people that's got money are getting loans for 0.5%, 1% APR, but the poor people have to get a 39% loan, a 9,000% payday loan. Someone make it make sense. Someone make it make sense how the people who got the money can get low interest loans, but the people who don't have the money and need the loans can only get a high interest loans that basically destroys them. Make it make sense. I can't make it make sense. Why isn't the poor man getting the low interest loan? It's a joke, man. Anyway, let's keep it.
And then they always want that fall behind the payments. And they know
But
that.
the interest is more than what they.
Having them pay off for like 10 years. You know what I'm saying? It's long. But they know that. It's the game. So let us oppress the poor and righteous man. He's beginning with us. Because we know the Israelites are the righteous men. You know? Because he saw, you know, he doesn't give two shits about us for sure. He wants to see us down in the dirt as far as possible. You know? So let's oppress the poor righteous man. Let us not spare the widow, nor reverence the ancient grey hairs of the age. So they've got no respect for nothing for nobody, no caring, no feeling, no love. Right? He's don't love fucking nobody.
He just pretends. It's all lip service, man.
Mhm.
Whatever he could get away with, he'll get away with it, man.
Yep.
That's why there's scandal after scandal. Oh, right. What they were doing that? Yeah, they were doing it.
So let our strength be the law of justice. The might is right thing. Right? Whatever they can accomplish with their strength is the just thing. Because in their mind, the war has been given to us. We want to do
We
it.
can get away with it, and that's what the cremation of care. If we can do it, if you fall for our tricks, it justifies it.
Mhm.
If we fool with you, we lie to you, right? It's justified because you were weak, you were stupid. So they could pump you full of poison, you and your children, and they could say, well, look,
Should have
you
the
know,
label.
yeah, you trusted us, that was your bad.
Should have known better.
That's your boo-boo.
For that which is evil is found to be nothing worth. Right?
Yeah.
You know, I have no respect for the weak. If you're there to be taken advantage of, you're game, man. You're fair game to them.
That's what they do, man. That's why Jerry Sandusky was fucking all them underprivileged boys, man, in the shower, publicly, backshotting up youths in the shower, in the public shower. That's how bold man was. Man was
Anyone can walk
clapping
in
up
and-
the youth's cheeks.
Man, I say nothing about it.
Well, I'll tell you this for free. He wouldn't have been conscious when if I walk in on a man clapping up some youth's cheeks, he ain't gonna be conscious, man. Yeah? He ain't gonna be conscious. Like if I walk in, but the guy went and complained to the dean, and the dean let it go. Alright, it's cool. Man's clapping up. And who was he targeting? The single parent home underprivileged Jakes, as usual, and pimping those children to other men. Esau don't care. The charities and all that scams, all scams, taking advantage of people, man.
This is the book of Psalms 10, and start from 2. The wicked in his pride does persecute the poor. Let them be taken in the devices that they have imagined. For the wicked boasters of his heart desire.
Right, they go around and talk about their new world order, and they pretty much tell you, they said you're gonna own nothing and like it and try to promote it to you like it's a good thing, just like chopping off your penis. Like, yeah, it's great. No, it's not great, but they boasting of their heart's desire, man. These people don't even want you to have autonomy of your own sexual reproduction.
Yeah.
They don't even want you to have autonomy over your wife. They wanna have autonomy over your wife, and it make you look like a misogynist because you want authority over your wife, but he could have authority over your wife. How does that work? Make it make sense. He want to tell you what to do with your children, right? But you can't tell your children what to do. The man is he got to go.
That's what I said, man. These is shit.
Man like Joe Biden and that. Openly, an open joke. and they're really putting on that show, because I don't believe there's anything wrong with Biden, but that's my personal belief. I believe they're putting on that show just to show you how fucked you people are. That we could put a guy, think about this. We could put a guy, yeah, that to any normal person can see based upon the show that they're putting on there. Because if they wanted to, you wouldn't see none of that. If that was true, they could make it where you wouldn't see none of that. So the fact that it's so openly being shown, because they want you to see that. So think about it. They want you to see that the man is senile and he's the president of the United States, and you sit there, say, wow, look what Joe Biden's doing, sip your coffee, go to sleep, wake up and go to work like that's not an issue, and feel completely powerless that that is actually happening. And that's been happening for a good few years now. Just to show you how insignificant of a fuck you are in real life. Think about that. Think about that. Like this, they actually just in your face, they've put a guy in there and they're telling you, showing you that the guy is senile. And you live in a democratic country where you all have this power and this say so, and a senile guy is running it. So they're basically just taking the piss. It's like when was it Nero that fucked man's wife in front of him, man? Or something. One of them mad Caesars. Like that's just taking the piss. Yeah, watch this. You get it's like, yeah, like what are you gonna do about it? What are you going to do about it? Nothing. We're just showing you.
You're gonna vote for next term.
And that's why they're releasing all these scandals and actually openly telling the people that they're lying. Because the more they do that, the more they're showing you that even if we tell you we're lying, even if we show you how fucked up we are, you ain't gonna do shit. Just shut the fuck up and watch LeBron James, innit? Yeah, watch that, yeah? And go to work if you can, or go collect your welfare and do some stupid shit on TikTok, yeah? But don't worry about nothing else because it don't matter anyway. Because you are a powerless little worm. And that's the truth. The guy's right there, the guy's speaking in tongues, blood, on TV in the middle of a press conference, man. Bro, if I went into my job and acted like that, yeah, I'd be fucking, they'd be calling occupational health. Yo, my man ain't right, man. We need to assess this guy.
This is the top office
And this is the top office in the world, and everyone's pretending like it's not happening. Yo, bro, this place is done, but they're doing it on purpose, just to show you. That's the psychology. What you do is like, if you really want to get a people under your control, you fuck them over, and then you show them they're fucking over, and you make them feel helpless. Because once you've accepted that, then that shows you how much in the pocket you really are. Use the bitch.
Yeah, because it's openly known that even here, like the politicians are corrupt. Everyone knows it. They always lie. Everyone knows that. But they're still gonna vote for these dickheads anyway.
Because you's a bitch. You're somebody's bitch. And there's nothing you could do about it. They're gonna eat your cupcake in front of you, man. Yeah? And inside you know it's your cupcake, but you ain't gonna do nothing, are you?
I think when the cupcake anyway.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, it's a psychological operation. It's complete in the trauma. Like I did that to you. You know I did. Remember that? You know I did. And what's that fucking UFC? Rampage action and thing. You know I did. You know I did.
As the Zoni say, and the blessed
and he beat him up after that because it was complete. You know I disrespected you. Now what? You have to accept it now.
As the Zoni say, and the blessed.
Hey, Salakia, they did the same thing with Bush. They had Bush up there talking gibberish. They're just showing their contempt for you, man. It doesn't matter anyway. It's all scripted, man.
As the Zoni say, and the blessed they covetous who the Lord abhors. The wicked through the pride of his countenance will not seek after Most High. Most High is not in all his thoughts.
They're not godly people. They don't think about morals. They don't have morals. They only have morale. Yeah. They don't think morally. They have corporations and they have an ethics department. There are no fucking ethics. They have spin doctors that can spin something to make it look ethical. And they could spin anything to get that good publicity when the reality is just like Tesla and the whole electronic battery shit. It's all bullshit. That shit ain't saving the planet. It's bullshit. It's destroying the planet. But they got good PR and they know how to spin it. Oh, it's ethical. It's bullshit, man. The electric battery is complete bullshit. Just use the fucking diesel.
Inefficient.
It's inefficient. It's bullshit, man. But it's they got good marketers, man, that can market it.
Clean energy.
Esau can market you a piece of shit and make it look healthy. It's got protein.
Bro, what they do with cigarettes?
It's
They
pre-digested.
told you cigarettes were good for you.
Yeah.
When they first bought them out, had all the superstars smoking and
Listen, man.
trying to look cool and shit. They told you it was good for you, man.
There's a guy on
They told you
TikTok,
high
man.
carb diet was good for you.
Yeah, but there's a guy on TikTok, and they say you could send him any food, and he'll turn it into a health food. He'll rebrand it, change the name, say it contains this vitamin and that.
Focus on
and
the
just
positives.
yeah, you just focus on the positives, and you could turn anything with a quick name change and make it healthy. So when you're going into that fucking health food section, just know you're getting fucked. Yeah, 100% over. Some slick dickhead has just marketed that to you, man. Oh, it's fucking. What's the other one what's that one they got people buying, spending extra money on? Gluten free. Oh, fuck out of here. I ain't paying an extra £2 for no gluten free spaghetti. And that shit tastes like shit anyway. Fuck out. You ever had that gluten free? Oh man, it's a fucking horrible blend.
What, pasta? Or bread?
No, I don't know about the bread.
Pasta's fine.
I've had the gluten. No, actually,
Bread is horrible.
I had the gluten free soba noodles. Oh, they were horrible, man. Oh god damn. Now allow it. And I had to pay extra £2 for that. No, fuck you, so man. Gluten free shit, man. Yeah, all that organic thing turned out, it's all fake, man. Oh no. Unless the elites are shopping where, and I mean the elites, shopping where you're shopping, you can guarantee it's just bullshit. So no.
His ways are always grievous. Thy judgments are far above out of his sight. As for all his enemies, he puffeth at them. He has said in his heart, I shall not be moved, for I shall never be in adversity.
He said a puppet at them. He mocks them, man. He mocks his enemies. You people that are complaining. He just mocks them. And this way he mocks you openly too. This is the problem. In the media, he mocks you.
And they pander to you niggas.
Yeah.
They pander to you niggas and give you niggas token gestures, and you niggas eat it up. You niggas eat it up like something's actually happened. Like you actually think like the whole Black Lives Matter. So what? Let me ask you Negroes a question. Yeah, out of the whole Black Lives Matter, what actually changed for you?
Came out of that.
Oh well, we're gonna put up a black statue of Harriet Tubman. What does that do for you?
Well, we create awareness.
Bullshit, man. Esau will never do nothing for you. He will do some token bullshit and have you clapping, and nothing's changed. It's all bullshit.
Yeah. Now you gotta wait for the next one.
Yeah? You just got you Negroes spinning around in circles, man, because you don't know what's good for you.
Well, what happened? Some of these got rich off it.
Donald Sterling comes out and admits that he's racist, all of his friends are racist, the entire world's racist, and they didn't fire him, they made him sell his shares, and you niggas thought that,
he was finished. No,
they just gave him a public slap on the wrist,
anyway,
and then everything carried on. The people who then bought the team from him are just like he is. You fucking morons, man. Man. That's why I don't bother. Oh, this guy said nigger, so I'm gonna cancel him. What's the point? He's gonna be replaced by another person that says nigger in private. They all do it. Remember when that woman got caught calling man a gollywog backstage, and she was like, "But we all do it."
Why am I getting?
And she was one of the first ones to get cancelled. All this cancellation, you're only cancelling people who got caught. They're being replaced by someone who didn't get caught. So what's your problem? They're all racist. They hide it. They can't say it because of what's it called? Political correctness. It's a game. Same way when you go to work and I'm at work, yeah, and there's a straight up batty boy standing there, yeah. I don't stand there and go, yeah, bun batty man. I gotta play the game, yeah, Yeah, you're right, John. Yeah. But in my head, I'm like, man, fuck this fucking fucking man. But I ain't gonna say that because I'm gonna get fired. That doesn't mean I'm not thinking it. Fucking morons, man. That's how these Edomites are. They will hate you, but they've made it where, but don't let them know you hate them directly by calling them names. That's all it is. Certain places in the world don't care. Internalize it. Certain places in the world, they don't give a fuck. They'll just say it to your face. Yeah, you fucking nigger. All right, I'll prefer that. Stupid niggas, man. That's why niggas too easily manipulated, man. So now you think there's white people on your side. Oh, that's horrible. That's horrible, Tom. He called that man a nigger. That is racist. You should not say that,
That's
sir.
the worst thing.
Yeah, fuck off, man. I don't give a fuck, man. Go on, man. Fuck off out of here.
Tell me about it when the man's getting lynched. You know what I'm saying? You know, like man is burning, crossing that man's door and shit.
I don't give a fuck, man. That's
I
all.
got bigger things to worry
That's
about.
all like superficial shit.
Yeah, I got bigger things
If
to
the
worry about.
worst thing that ever happened to us was someone calling us a nigger, we wouldn't be in the situation we're in now.
Yeah, you'll be
So
fine.
those stupid little name callings is not
It's
the big.
never-
It's not the big
It's
thing.
never the cops.
Because the elites don't need to call you a nigger to fuck your whole neighborhood up and gentrify your neighborhood. Do they? To send in agent provocateurs to bring down your house prices, yeah? They don't need to call you a nigger to do that, do they? Dumb niggas. Anyway, go on now.
This is the book of Psalm again, 10 and 7.
I hate political correctness, to be honest. I wish Edomites would just go back to like the days where they just say how they feel. It would help our cause a lot more.
To all this deception.
Yeah, instead of all this bullshit, like man, like Bill Clinton saying he loves you, you dumb fucks, and then the guy fucking creates a crime bill that puts all you niggas, and they purposely had him playing jazz, and then these dumb niggas think he's the first black president. So like how retarded you niggas are. You can just easily manipulate it. Because he got his dick sucked and played jazz, which that was all fake as well. You believe that? You niggas believe that all that came out? That's all a show. They're all getting their dick sucked, man. That was all a show. Anyway, go on, man. These niggas are too easily fooled by theatrics, man. Bill Clinton's been doing a lot more than getting his dick sucked. There's a lot of women out there that told you about how Hillary and Bill was doing some real serious shit, man. Bill Clinton's a known rapist, man. But how they didn't make that into a big deal. But when he got his dick sucked, that's all over the
both
news.
of them, innit? Both of them are doing that shit.
Yeah. She's freaky as hell.
Man.
Anyway, go on.
Psalms 10 and 7. His mouth is full of cursing and deceit and fraud, and his tongue is mischief and vanity. He sitteth in the lurking places of the village, in the secret places does he murder the innocent. His eyes are privately set against the poor. He lies in wait secretly as a lion in his den. He lies in wait to catch the poor. He does catch the poor when he draws him into his net.
And that's all this society is all about, trapping the poor, which is mainly you so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native American Indians. Now they got all of you on social media thinking that's going to change your life. And so they promote like OnlyFans. They promote the 1% of women on OnlyFans that make good money. And most of them were already celebrities. And secondly, they only make good money for a certain amount of time, and then all their subscriptions get lost. So they don't make a lot of money over the long term. But they promote them in the newspaper constantly. You see article, girl leaves her job at Asda and is now making 10 grand a week or something. Why are they putting that in the newspaper? Because OnlyFans wants you to go set up an account, man, because they're always making money. But you're not necessarily going to make that much money. It's going to cause you more harm than good. But it's a trap for the poor. It's basically telling the poor, here is a get rich quick scheme.
That's how you do it.
Yeah, OnlyFans are going to get rich quick.
Super quick.
Oh yeah. This is all a trap, man. They set up all these little things, and the only people that fall for it are poor people. Someone that's already rich is like, why do I need to do that? That's bullshit. But everyone now trying to set up a podcast,
Why do I need to degrade myself?
Bro, one girl the other day, she showed, because most of these dudes that were successful influencers are agents, by the way. And if you don't believe me, that's okay. But I just want you to know that the majority of these YouTubers, early YouTubers and early TikTokers that were getting the algorithm was just pushing them, and they were getting millions of subscribers, like Mr. Beast. You know, Mr. Beast, he's an agent. That's why his brethren's now transgender. They're all part of the psychological operation. They put them out there, oh, you can make this amount of money off YouTube. But you can't now. But everyone's still trying to do it. Even if you get 1 million views on YouTube, man, you ain't making no money. Fucking, you know how many TikTokers I've seen that I know are popular TikTokers pushing through gates? Broke! They got millions, they're broke. One girl showed she got a video that's got 20 million views, and her total monetization for that 20 million view video is £372 for 20 million views.
Yeah.
But everyone's on TikTok thinking that if I get a good following on TikTok, I'm gonna become rich. No, the most you're gonna do is make next to nothing for all that work you're putting in, become addicted to the likes, and then you're gonna get DM'd by some demon, and that's how you're gonna make your money. Male and female, by the way. 'Cause a lot of niggas are sucking dick to get to that cash. Like it's just a way to go into prostitution. So bullshit, man. But that's the level it is now. That people, they're so fucked with life. They're just trying to make us try and make social media work for them. But it's done now. You ain't really making no money off no fucking social media, man. Not no big money. You might make a little bit of that, but it's not. You're not gonna be no Kim Kardashian. That's done. It's releasing sex tapes. That's done. Anyway,
He quoted and he humbles himself that the poor may fall by his strong one. He has said in his heart, Mosiah has forgotten.
right. Esau don't believe the poor have no defense. He believes the poor, beginning with you Israelites, are at his mercy. So he do what he want with you. He do exactly what he want. Do you know how many of our peoples right now are fighting American and European corporations in Brazil, in South America, because they're taking their water or polluting their river? Man can't do shit. That man can't even get on. They're not gonna get on BBC. Remember, if they don't want your story on mainstream TV, it will not ever get there. You gotta put your story out on some liquor YouTube channel that the algorithm isn't gonna push, so hardly anyone's gonna see. And I see some of these stories, I'm like, this is horrible. This woman, like some woman somewhere in South America protesting some company that's taking all their water, and the water that they're left with is all polluted, that they can't grow no food, and they're protesting the company. What happens at the end of the documentary, or after the production of this what's it called, the documentary, she got gunned down by 5 men somewhere, or he got gunned down, the main, because the corporation paid off some sicarios to take care of the problem. And these are European and American and German companies. But where's BBC News, innit? Where's Sky News? Where's CNN? Where's Fox News? Why are they not running them stories?
Investigative journalist.
They don't investigate journalists for that, because Esau, he don't believe in all that, man. And that's the truth. There's a lot of dirt happening right now on earth that these gangsters are doing, and people just don't know about it because it doesn't get pushed out there in the mainstream, or the algorithm will make sure that you don't get it in your recommendeds, or not enough people get it in their recommendeds. Demonic.
So a quick precept from Judah chapter 9, verse 11. It says, "For thy power standeth not in the multitude, nor thy might in strong men, but thou art God of the afflicted, and helper of the oppressed, an upholder of the weak, a protector of the forlorn, a savior of them that are without hope." Right? Because we were saying, man, Esau don't believe there's the weak can't be helped.
Yeah.
You know, there's no one to help them, so you can just abuse them and do whatever. But the Most High is watching.
He's the one that pretends to help the weak. So you're like, oh, we're going into Iraq.
But that's what the devil do. You know, never trust thy enemy. That's what the devil do, man.
He said Saddam was kicking babies out of incubators, but they're aborting babies, like 50 million of them. But it's cool. Saddam was kicking babies, and the people are oppressed. So we need to. Esau's a fucking devil, man.
Yeah, from bro, back with pimps at the top. With the crazy stuff.
And that was all proven to be lies
America's
anyway.
doing the worst.
They're doing the most over there, raping the children in the camps and shit, man.
In the hospitals, in the education system, in the churches, everywhere. That's what I'm saying. Camp, scouts, man, everywhere abusing children, man. You know, but that's the system you're allowed to let run. You know.
Is that on up?
Yeah.
Is that on up? Yeah. All right, let's drop. Where was we? Daniel. Hey, the spirit just wants to keep getting on this Esau today, man. Esau can't get a break. We're trying to get through this thing. All right, go. Let's go. Esau's getting it today, man. It's one of them days. It's a red day.
Okay. Back in Daniel chapter 2. Let's see, where was that now? Verse 41, right? And whereas thou sawest the feet and toes, part of potter's clay and part of iron, the kingdom shall be divided, but there shall be in it of the strength of the iron, for as much as thou sawest the iron mixed with miry clay.
Right, so that represents, the iron represents Rome, and Rome was, like we was going into, known for their military strength, their military might, their military prowess, and that was that iron, the legs. Now we've got Rome all over again, and they're also known for their military strength. But this time, their kingdom is disjointed. This time, there's cracks in their kingdom. There's strong parts and there's weak parts. Yeah?
So that whereas thou sawest iron mixed with miry clay, they shall mingle themselves with the seed of men, but they shall not cleave to one another. And that's why, you know, everyone's got their own way of living, and they always contention with different things. But Esau, like we read earlier, he comes with people, right? So he don't care. He just wants you working for the sea system.
But them nations, they really side-eyeing each other.
Yeah.
Like France and Germany and all that. They're side-eyeing the pride of the American family, the American establishment. Bruce Luke was more stout than his fellows, man. And that's gonna lead in the end to them nations betraying America, man, and burning it with fire.
Yep.
But a lot of them parts of the kingdom are down bad. Italy is down bad right now. A lot of Europe is economically struggling. They down bad, like the inflation in Italy is serious. Like you see the situation that's happening in France, man. It ain't all sweet.
Yeah.
Like I said, you could go to certain places. Like you could go to London, and yeah, you can go down Richmond. You could go, there's certain places you can go and man, live in the high life. But there's a lot of places where people are down bad out here, right here in London. And like I said, the minute you go outside of London, there's some real ghettos, man. Some real down bad council estates, man. Ghettoed out, man. Like ghettoed. These man don't know what jobs are. They just out there, finished out here. That's why they voted to leave the EU. They thought that was going to help them.
Back in down 2 verse 44, so, and in the days of these kings, so the God of heaven,
even a lot of them coastal areas, they were doing well for a while because a lot of people would holiday in the UK. But what Esau did was he outsourced the holidaying because the airline companies wanted to make money, and they have set up resorts in different areas, so they made it where like everyone's going to certain particular places at the same time, because they make it where you could, if you want to take your children out of school, they penalize you for that. Right? So imagine like they're fucking the people over. So you want to go on holiday, you got to pay 3 times the normal amount if you've got children. Right? And then you're going abroad and you're spending the money in particular resorts abroad. So what happens now is that because people are not going to Southend, people are going to these different seaside towns, they down bad. Because that's where all the source of the money was coming from. So a lot of them seaside towns in England, like Southend and that, they down bad. Horrible. You go there, it's just druggies and people just like when I went down, what's it called? You go down fucking where that Bognor Regis, where the Butlins is and that, man, and you go into the town, they down bad down there. Man, they're just there drinking K's, just sucking back the cheapest alcohol you can get. They finished out here, man. There ain't nothing about there. It's a ghost. And this is the big UK. It's supposed to be all this money. No, the money is really all in London, and then in a specific section in London. So yeah, this place is going down fast, man.
You got the city of London, you got the banking district,
and they're laying off people. And if you get laid off from that job and you're on like 100K, well, good luck finding another job that's 100K. You better get OnlyFans. You better do something. You and your wife better start putting in work, like with the toys, like. You know what I'm saying, like. $5.99 or something. Anyway, go on.
Down 244. And in the days of these kings shall the God of heaven set up a kingdom which shall never be destroyed, and the kingdom shall not be left to other people. All these other nations have their time.
Kingdom shall not be left to other people.
So these heathens are not going to have a dominion, because we know when you have a trying to come and take crowns off them. They're not going to have dominion. The other nations do not have dominion in this kingdom, man. Now they're going to have their own lands back eventually,
But
but
on
they're
the
not going to have
other-
dominion over us.
they're gonna be tributaries.
That's it.
They're gonna be under.
It said, but it shall break in pieces. This our kingdom. How it's going to break in pieces, right? And consume all these kingdoms, all these nations. They're going underneath, right? And it shall stand forever because it's the kingdom of righteousness. And that's the only reason why kingdoms fall, because of wickedness.
Yep.
Right? And that goes for us too. When we was ruling okay, we was doing okay, we was being right with the Lord. But like when that stopped and we was going off, guess what? Our time came to an end. And we got put into captivity. It's the same way you're gonna get put in captivity. Because all you nations have been wicked and conservative. None have been right.
Yeah, they're all wicked and demonic and gay.
Yeah.
And that is the truth, man. Like them, especially them Arabs. Them Arabs are filthy, man. They're disgusting. They love the little boys over there in Arab land.
Yeah.
They love it.
Man.
But that's why Alistair Crowley used to hang around there a lot, man. Because they love them some young boy over there in Arab land. They're freaky as it comes, man. Demonic creatures, man. So they all need to get put down, man. We can't have none of these men out of pocket.
It's verse 45 says, for as much as thou sawest that the throne was cut out of the mountain without hands, and that it brake in pieces the iron, the brass, the clay, the silver, and the gold, the great God have made known to the king what shall come to pass hereafter, and the dream is certain, and the interpretation thereof sure.
Now, if you ask Vocab Malone what that kingdom was, that was the iron and the clay, and where does America sit in that, he ain't gonna want to answer all that, because really he don't give a he don't give a about prophecy and all that. The only thing he cares about is his rap album, and he got a few Negroes that look up to him, and the rest of you are in your place. He don't mind. He's down with the status quo of the earth. He's not looking for no prophecies. He said it himself. I don't want to be dealing with the eschatology. He doesn't care. Yeah, he don't care about all that, because his spirit is not dealing with him. Yeah. But the truth of the matter is that America is that kingdom, and it's gonna be destroyed. And the kingdom to come is the kingdom of heaven, and it's an Israelite kingdom, right? Jeremiah. Yeah, let's finish with Jeremiah and jump back to 11.
Yeah, the scripture saying Daniel says as well that it should be given to the people of the saints. And that's us.
Yeah, saints is another way of saying Israelite, because we're the Israelites are the holy people. Deuteronomy 7:6.
Yeah, that's how we reference, man. That's saints. Praise ye, the saints.
Not these pink piglets, man, that's running around here trying to act like they're righteous and they're so good and proper and looking down on Jake, man. Like, and then we know Jake are dumb and wicked and they be acting the fool on camera. But you devils,
you're the vessel of dishonor.
Yeah, you're not the righteous, man. You ain't got no high horse to sit on. Oh, look at them Negroes, look at them. They're so violent. Why don't you go suck your mother, man? You hear me? Like, that's how you feel. You devils, how dare you? Yeah. You ain't got no right to tell no one nothing.
Nature ain't righteous.
Your nature ain't righteous. It's never been righteous. It's so violent. Oh, Jake, they'll see a video of Jake like robbing some woman's handbag. Oh, that's horrible. And then man will go to work and rob some old woman's 401k and it's nothing.
So like that wasn't worse.
You know what I'm saying? These guys are the devil, man. Just because you didn't get caught on camera, this is a joke thing, man. Fuck out of here, man.
It's a book Jeremiah 13:10. Therefore, fear thou, O my servant Jacob, said the Lord, never be dismayed, O Israel, for I follow, I will save thee from afar, and thy seed from the land of their captivity. And Jacob shall return and shall be in rest.
Jacob shall return. You can only return if you are from somewhere, so it doesn't apply to everyone. Jacob shall return, meaning turn back, and shall be at rest. Go on.
And be quiet, and none shall make him afraid.
We're not going to have to fear the enemy because we're going to have power and supremacy. We're not going to be fearful. Our rulership isn't going to be, because even Esau's fearful. Esau was scared on them plantations.
Yep.
We're not going to be scared on our plantation. We're not going to live in fear. What if, listen, we're not going to be, we're not going to be afraid. We're going to sleep good at night. We're not going to be afraid of the heathen or anyone or any, because the Lord is going to be with us. We're going to be empowered with the power of the Lord. We're not going to be afraid of rebellions and foolishness like that. Not like you Edomites. You're fair. You've been in fair your whole rulership. You scared of Jake. That's why you always got to be on Jake's case, man.
And an example, a proof of that is that Esau don't rule out in the open as the devil. Because he's scared.
Yeah, yeah.
He ain't time yet. That's why he wants you to get all, he wants to get you all see him first. Before you can just come out here, I'm the devil, bro. You know what I'm saying? But you won't come and do that now because there'll be an uproar.
Come out like William Dafoe, and
he doesn't want to revolt. He don't want to uproar that everyone's going to come against him.
We're not going to listen. In our kingdom, we're not going to have to manipulate or lie.
Yeah, with the lies, the deception, the divide and conquer. You wouldn't have to do all that if he wasn't afraid already.
Okay, assholes,
you know? You would just do it. You're like, what? But no, Esau ain't on that level. But we're going to be on that level.
I am not benevolent. I simply am. So, I fear no. Whether do as thou will, I fear no one. Hey, go on, man.
Jeremiah 13:11. So I am with thee, saith the Lord, to save thee. Though I make full end of all nations, whither I have scattered thee.
That's why it's not going to be left to other people, because they're getting made an end of. You know?
Yep. Including America.
Yep.
Yet we are not make a full end of thee, but I will collect thee in measure.
Because we're a world without end. That's why the Lord, ain't doing away with us, because we're a world without end. Yeah, he chastises us, yeah. Because we have to learn something in this captivity. Okay, and only the elect are going to learn that lesson and understand why everything's been the way it is. Okay, but they're the ones that are going to be established, beginning with 144,000. You know, the government. Yep.
That I will collect thee in measure, and will not leave thee altogether unpunished.
So this has been our punishment, man, to have this pink, Porky the pink devil lording over us. This freaky don. Yeah, this guy that likes financial domination, man. This man, there's Edomites out there that just give half their paycheck to random bitches. Oh man, that's the guy that's ruling over us, man. These freaky dons, man, paying for farts and that. It's a sad thing. These depraved LGBT warriors, man, are ruling over us, man. These devils are telling us what to do. You go to work and this guy's telling you what to do. Real bad, man. They're trying to tell you at work sometime, man, and they love it, man. They love it. Like, you know, when you get them Edomite managers and they just like to come and fuck with you. And you know, like, that's their only source of power over you, because if it was just like I've seen man with some real Jake, you know, them warriors, them 6'3" man that's been in the gym, just, you know what I'm talking about, them elite level fucking Jakes here, and you're just there chilling, and then some dickhead Edomite will come along and try and stick it on, man. And you're like, rah, you know what, yeah? If my man saw man in Asda, he wouldn't even say, excuse me, to get to the milk. The man would be shook to even, you know what I'm saying, bro? This is some dweeb, some low-level Edomite with a pop belly, yeah? But because we're in a workplace and he's got the manager role, he just bear oppression, blood. And he talking down to some 6'3" Adonis, blood. It's mad. That's how these devils work. And you just think to yourself, this doesn't make no sense, man. These devils are on a power tripping in work, man. A bunch of freaky dons that go home and have their woman fucking peg them. And man's coming to work trying to violate, yeah? For what? Nah, man, it's a punishment. It's a curse to have a dog like this ruling over us, telling us what to do. To be reliant on this guy, man, and his system. Gotta be collecting welfare from this man, and you know what I mean? Like, it's a shame. It's a real shame. But it was part of our punishment. Yep. This man could just come and take your women, you know.
That's why the Lord said we can set out the basis of men, right? And that's what he picked Esau, the worst of all heathen, to rule over us, which happens to be our twin brother, our evil twin brother, just to prove a point. And it could be the lowest devil, and they still think they're better than you. The lowest devil.
Man, that vocab. Let me tell you something about vocab. Yeah, vocab's one of them white boys that he couldn't even hang around. You just know he's one of the. You know, back in the days in school, you just get them white boys that, like, man would get bullied, 100%. Like, if he's got a ball, like he ain't playing with that ever for the next like 3 weeks until man allow him to have it back to play with. Like, and he'll be there, but he's like, because he's a real pussy, and this guy coming in trying to talk with man. Like, what are you talking for? You shouldn't even be talking among men. You're like a male of the lowest stature, and you're an Edomite, so you just shouldn't even be conversating. And you're here trying to tell man what to do, make fun jokes of us, talking about our black skin is dirty. Blood, you know, man will get put down for that. You know what I'm saying, blood? You got the gall to be disrespecting, like. It's mad.
Mormon shit, bro.
Man saying our skin is dirty, you know, some little low level devil, and that's how you know we're in a low level. Where you got devils like that thinking that they could disrespect man openly, and he knows, oh, they ain't gonna do nothing because they're just niggas. I'll just call the police now and have them niggas arrested. Fuck this dude, man. Go on, man.
In the time of trouble, man, they gonna be no one to call, man.
They in the kingdom, man. They ain't gonna be able to call no one. We are the police. The word police means policy. The police bring institute and follow the policy, right? They have policies that they institute. That's where you get the word police. I'm policing. I'm pushing the policy. We're gonna be pushing the policy. Pushing it.
You're gonna be judged.
And we're gonna have other heathens policing it, man. And part of the policy is you getting random beatings.
That neighborhood watch.
Neighborhood watch. Neighborhood licks.
Watching these motherfuckers, man.
Oh, no. So we're back in John, yeah?
No, Jeremiah.
No. Go to John.
Yeah,
go to John. We'll finish on John, man. Yeah, man. It's mad world, but it is a bit. You know, you got these white women and lording it over us, thinking that they're better, thinking they're the princesses, man, looking down on man, thinking Jake is lucky to be with them. It's mad, man. It's mad. Like, I've seen.
How quickly that's gonna change around, though, man?
The fattest, and you Benjaminites, man. You should be ashamed of yourself, man. You need to stop that because we got a bad name now. The most fattest, most ugliest Godzilla of white woman, blood, and the man will be the skinniest Benjamin. Oh, it's disgusting. And I've got a few cousins, and he just ruling you and telling you what to do, blood, and just running your life, man. It's sad out here, man. It's sad, man. Just but I ain't gonna lie, man. They be breeding up the finest lighties, though. Still, like, that's the only thing in it, like.
It don't last long.
But you know, still, that's how you gonna get them fine ass lighties. But you man are taking the L, man. Some old beast Edomite women from the council estate. Allow it, star. Anyway, Jake is down bad, man.
With the rough hands.
Jake is down bad. No, Jake should be subject onto that, man. If you're gonna take the women from the other nations, you gotta get the piff thing, man. You can't be rolling with the obese ones with the BO under the rolls and shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Damn bad out here. Anyway, go on, man.
So they'll chip away, dude.
Huh?
So
Yo, the BA getting that paperwork, man. Damn. On the slavery, bro. I'm telling you, bro, I've seen it. Mad. Man's on the slavery getting disrespected by her nasty little kids that she had beforehand. No, I've seen some madness, man. I feel bad for these, especially these Jamaicans, man. They be getting done bad out here. From your phone.
Yes, 27%. I ain't seen this long for time.
Yeah, that's why my one's probably hurt right now as well.
69.
Oh.
But yeah, back in John chapter 11, I'm gonna start back in 7, man. You know.
Right, yeah.
Verse 47 said, then gathered the chief priests and the Pharisees a council and said, what do we? For this man doeth many miracles. If we let him thus alone, all men will believe on him, and the Romans shall come and take away both our place and nation. And one of them, named Caiaphas, being high priest the same year, said unto them, ye know nothing at all, nor consider that it is expedient for us that one man should die for the people, and that the whole nation perish not.
So when he said the people and the whole nation, who is he referring to? He's referring to Judea. The people, and because at that time they were operating that we are the Judeans and the Jews, Judah, but mainly Judah, Benjamin, Levi. There was a few members of the other tribes around, but not the bulk. Yeah, and we are Judeans. We're the remnant. We keep the high holy days, the laws, the customs. Judea. That's what he was talking about as the nation. They didn't recognize the other tribes that were out there and the Negroes that decided to Hellenize themselves and wear togas. They were not considered as part of the nation. They were outcasts.
Yeah.
Right? They knew about them, but they didn't consider them. So he said to them, listen, he's not just gonna die for the people that's here and the nation. Go on.
Well, it's like, essentially, in their eyes, they've been removed from Israel because they've all been taken out of the land.
Yep.
So, that's us. That's us.
Well, in their eyes, they were heathens.
Yeah, removed, isn't it? Removed from the whole thing,
he said, where will he go that we shall not find him? Will he go to the dispersed among the Gentiles? They considered them people Gentiles, Hellenes, Greeks. Half of them didn't even have birth records, man. They weren't trying to fix through them. You know?
Yep. So yeah, verse 52. So then, and not only for that nation, and not for that nation only, but that also he should gather together in one the children of God that were scattered abroad.
Exactly. So he's letting them know that, listen, he ain't just going to be a sacrifice for the people that's here. He's also going to be a sacrifice for the children of God which were scattered abroad. Who's that talking about?
Israelites.
Israelites.
Yeah.
Because the Israelites, what's that?
So,
Psalms 82 and 6.
So
82 and 6.
yeah.
82 and 6.
I was going to say, which proved they knew the purpose of God.
Well, he did.
Oh,
Because he was speaking in the spirit. They were being ignorant.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Yahweh Shai quoted this, so this is confirmed. This is confirmed. What's it? What was that? Murder.
Well, I was putting
the mic guy. Your mic in it. Confirmed, though. Confirmed.
This is the book of Psalms 82 and 6. I have said, ye are powers, and all of you are children of the Messiah.
Right. This was to the Israelites. He said the Israelites are the children of God. They're Abraham's seed. They are the children of God. No one else. No one else can become the children of God. That's why it says what it says in Hosea. Can we get that real quick? Hosea 1 and 10. And Paul quoted that in Romans the 9th chapter. Or
This is the book of Hosea 1 and 10. Yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea, which cannot be measured nor numbered. And it shall come to pass that in the place where it was said unto them, ye are not my people.
so what does that mean? You're going to be cast down, despised. The people are going to say, you're not the people of the Lord. You're not the Israelites. In the place where it said, go on.
There it shall be said unto them, ye are the sons of the living power.
So it was going to be confirmed that you are the sons of the living power. Now, you still, what are you holding, John?
No, I got John.
Get John 1.
Book of John 1. I don't know if we need to get the whole thing. We could just get from start from verse 7. We could just skip
And read down.
so we go first John. I said John 1 and 7. The same came for a witness to bear witness of the light, that all men through him might believe.
When it says all men through him might believe, the all men is talking about Israel. What's explained, what's understood ain't got to be explained, right? It's not saying all men as in everyone on the planet. You have to read it in context. The all men are the Israelites, and we're going to prove it. Because we know it's not Edomites, so it's not all men, then is it? Yeah. It's just like if I go, if I say all people can apply for universal credit, Yeah. Well, the man from China can't come and apply because man's gonna go. Well, I'm talking about British citizens. What's it? It shouldn't need to be. You should already understand that there's other applying. When Esau said all men are created equal, you Negroes were still 3/5 of a man. So he wasn't talking about everyone. But everyone at that table knew we're talking about crackers here. Like, you know, we're not really talking about all men. We're talking about all men. That actual men that we are referring to in the context of what we are in. Yeah, you can exclude people in a statement that says all. Yeah? So let's not play fucking games here, man. Context is important. So when it says that all men should believe him, it's talking about Israel. Go on, read on. Yeah, go on.
It's Acts 2, verse 21. And it shall come to pass that whosoever shall call on the name of the Lord shall be saved. Ye men of Israel, hear these words. Yahushua Nazareth, a man approved of God among you by miracles and wonders and signs, which God did by him in the midst of you, as you yourself also know. Right? So again, it's being addressed to the Israelites. Anyone that can hear, because Christians will use that one and say, oh, any man that can hear. Yeah, but it's to the Israelites, man. That's who's being addressed. Right? We know Yahushua was sent for his people. I am not sent but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel. We know all this. Luke 1:16, we know all this. So why have we got to explain this? It should already be understood.
Yeah, it's
right?
already understood. When the president of India makes a speech and he says all men, he ain't talking about man in China. He's talking about fucking India. He doesn't need to qualify that. Because man will understand he's the Indian president and the context of the speech is regarding his citizens. So I can't pop up there and say, oh, I'm included. I was like, bro, come on.
Yep.
You know? You're from Britain. Yes, you're not none of our business. Bloody hell.
John 1 and 8. St. John 1 and 8. He was not that light, but that was sent to bear witness of that light. That was the true light, which lighteneth every man that cometh unto the world.
Yeah, every man that's going to come onto the world is the Israelites. Because what did the scripture say? I am not sent but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel. So it's not everyone then, is it? Is it? Oh, cap.
Exclusion.
There's people that's been excluded from way back. Yeah,
all in the context.
It's all in the context. The heathen have already been excluded from anything that Yahushua does because the Messiah just ain't for them. So man don't need to say it again. Because like my man Deontay Wilder said, what's understood don't have to be explained. Only for morons like you and retards that need it explained specifically every time. Yeah, that's not how people speak. Man don't always qualify what they're saying. You know?
He was in the Word, and the Word was made by him, and the Word knew him not. He came unto his own, and his own received him not.
So they use this to say, oh, he came unto his own, meaning the Jews. And then, which even then, the Jews didn't represent everyone. But the own is actually talking about was in his hometown. Yeah, they didn't rate him in his hometown. So most of the people in his hometown rejected him. So they knew him. So that's what he's referring to. He said he came to his own and his own received him not. But because not all Israel was supposed to receive him. Read on. That's a real photo. Just quick one. Grown ass man playing with a photo like that. No, I'm bad.
St. Mark 8:41. And he began to teach them that the Son of Man must suffer many things, and be rejected of the elders and of the chief priests and the scribes, and be killed, and after 3 days rise again.
So it was never meant for all of his people to receive him, only an elect. Yeah, so let's not get bright now. Yeah,
I say all the disciples were so-called Jews, you know. They were Jews in Judea that believed him. So you couldn't have been talking about all the Jews didn't accept him, because that's not true.
Yeah, that's retarded. It's true. And who was the church? Think about it. Think, man. Think, Mark. I thought they were having a season 2 of that.
Hope so. Hope so.
As goes on to say, but as many as received him, to them gave the power to become the sons of Most High.
For as many of them, who's that? The Israelites.
Yep.
He came to his own, and his own received him not. But as many of them that received him, that did, he gave them what?
He gave the power to become the sons of Most High.
And that's the adoption of sons. And that goes back to Hosea 1 and 10. You see it there. So through Yahweh Shai, we're being accepted as the sons of God again, as was prophesied. I don't know what's the dealio here? What's the problem? Yeah? Christianity is a lie. Fraud. It's a fraud. It's not for everyone. Okay? It's not all inclusive like a little holiday in Greece. Yeah?
Even to them that believe on his name, which were born not of blood, nor of the will of the flesh.
And that's funny because even when you go on all inclusive, right? It says all inclusive, right? But when you get there, you don't get the top shelf.
You don't get everything.
You got to pay for the top, but it says all inclusive.
You get the house drinks, the cheap drinks or whatever.
The local brand.
Yeah. But you want the brand thing though. You got to pay with the brand.
Yeah, unless you're on some 6-star thing.
I don't know what that is yet.
Or some super 5-star. Some of them super 5 stars you might get, but I've never done a 5-star all inclusive. The most inclusive I've had, I think, is like 3. It's down bad, You get all that rock gut alcohol. That's super. That should give you a headache quick.
I was going to say, and the word was made flesh and dwelt among us, and we beheld his glory, the glory as of the only begotten of the Father, full of grace and truth.
Right, so that's Yahweh Shai. So through Yahweh Shai, the children of God are being accepted again.
Yep.
That's the adoption of sons that pertaineth to Israel. Let's jump back to John the 11th chapter now. Right, and get John 10 and I believe 10. So read that part again about to the children of God. Where you got the blue letter there?
I can get the blue letter.
Yeah, and then so get the blue letter, the David Guzik for that verse, and we'll read what it says there. Because even the scholars know that that's the same thing as when what is written in John the 10th chapter about the other sheep. So we're going to break that down too.
Do I have to go on that verse to get access to that? Is it in that?
Okay, yeah. I'm going to learn it.
All right, I can leave it. The radar was
Yeah, leave it as mine, bro. Well, we got 2 of them, so we'd let them compressors, innit? And one goes down, the other one has to keep working.
David Guzik, yeah, study guy for John 11, yeah?
Yeah. And go straight down to that verse. Got the fail safe. I noticed they're not cutting none of these grasses as sharpish as they was before. All these councils are cutting down, and but you guarantee you go to Richmond, it's all cut.
Yeah, guaranteed. So I got from the point from Kaya first, yeah?
Nah, just go straight down to the point. We already read all that.
Sounds right.
No, that way.
All right, so this is from the David Guzik commentary for John 11, right? And on the point C for that verse we're speaking on, right? It says also that he would gather together in one the children of God who were scattered abroad. John explained that the unconscious prophecy of Caiaphas was greater than he could ever imagine. The death of Yahushua also gathered together in one the sheep of another fold Yahushua had previously spoken of. John 10:16.
Right, so let's get that. So the scholars here are saying that when he said about the children of God scattered abroad, that's the same as when Yahushua was speaking about the other sheep that's not of the fold. So then these goofy Christians interpret that to mean that the one fold was the Israelites and the other sheep are the heathens. Nah, the fold was the Judeans and the Jews in Judea. They were other Israelites that wasn't a part of that fold. That's why the scriptures speak about the outcasts of Israel. It speaks about the alienated for aliens from the covenant.
And the Lord always referencing to us as sheep and things like this.
Exactly.
You know, because we are that fold. We're just in different places right now. You know, the Hebrew never been discussed as sheep. You know, to be a part of any fold.
In fact, what's a fold? Get the definition for a fold as well. Yeah, look.
John 16.
Yeah, John 10. Yeah.
This is a book of St. John 10 and 15. And as the Father knows me, even so know I the Father, and I lay down my life for the sheep.
The Lord didn't lay down his life, for heathens. The scripture tells you in the book of 53, Isaiah 53, that he has borne our iniquities. All we as sheep have gone astray. If you remember, Isaiah 53 wasn't written in isolation, and that's what you need to also understand when you read the Bible, that we read the Bible today in chapters, right? But it wasn't written in chapters. It wasn't written like chapter 53 and then verse this. It was Isaiah written, right? What they've done is they've divided it up for our consumption, because it makes it easier for us to consume and reference in chapters. So to understand Isaiah 53, you got to understand the context of the entire group of chapters that you're reading. And if you read it chapter by chapter, you will see the theme and who it's talking about. And if you read Isaiah, the whole point of what Isaiah was talking about was the restoration of Israel, including in Isaiah 53. That's why you read Isaiah 54, Isaiah 55, and onward and so on.
They even have
the
title or the chapter about the page or something like that to let you know what it's talking about.
Yep.
You know, and it's clear as day. There's no ever mention no heathens, you know, being delivered in that. It's always been speaking about Israel coming back.
Yep.
You know, the Lord giving them mercy. That's what it's about. Because we will, you know, as bad children, we've gone off and displeased the Heavenly Father, and He chastises us, man. Right? But the Lord loves His children. He is known from the beginning.
Now, I'm glad you said that, because on my Bible here, right, when you get down to Isaiah 52, it says at the top, the nearness of deliverance, a call to Zion, right? Then you get to Isaiah 53, it says the suffering and the exaltation of the servant. Now we know this, the suffering and the exaltation is going into the Messiah, Isaiah 53. The next chapter is the coming glories of Jerusalem.
Call to the needy.
So what does the suffering of the servant lead to? The coming glories of Jerusalem. Previously, what was the chapter before that all about? The nearness of deliverance. So the deliverance is coming. It's going to come through the servant, and it's going to lead to the glorification of Jerusalem. All you got to do is read the Bible with context. So you know in Isaiah 53, it says, verse 4, it says, surely he hath borne our griefs and carried our sorrows, yet we did esteem him stricken, smitten of God, and afflicted. But he was wounded for our transgressions. Now, when Isaiah said our transgressions, he wasn't including the heathens, because even the scholars say that there is no record of the Israelites ever considering that God loved the other nations.
Yep.
So when Isaiah said he was bruised for our transgressions, he wasn't talking about those brass-clad heathens. He was talking to Israel. He's talking about his people, right? It says, he was bruised for our iniquities, the chastisement of our peace. You of all people have I known.
You know?
Oh,
The clues are all there. It's not even complicated. You know what I'm saying?
The chastisement of our peace was upon him, and with his stripes we are healed. right? He shall rise with healing in his wings.
Yeah.
The Lord said he was going to restore Israel. Yeah. We have no healing medicines, but the Lord is going to do it. It says, all we like sheep have gone astray.
Sheep again.
We have turned everyone to his own way, and the Lord have laid on him the iniquity of us all. That's talking about the Israelites. Because when you go into Isaiah, who was led astray? Who went and strayed away from the Lord? The Israelites. Yeah, yeah.
This is the book of Baruch 3 and 8. Behold, we are yet this day in our captivity, where thou hast scattered us for a reproach and a curse, and to be subject to payment according to all the iniquity of our fathers, which departed from the Lord our power.
Oh man, it's heavy. It's heavy. And you know it's funny because we always tell you that Revelations, right? A lot of Isaiah's prophecies are just repeated in the book of Revelations, but with a stance of a fulfillment. So for instance, I was just reading through the top of the pages from Isaiah 59, right? Sorry, Isaiah 59 onwards. At the top it says, the Lord shall redeem Zion and the glory of the new Jerusalem. So what do we read about that in Revelation 21 to Revelation 22? Oh, I'm glad you said that, because when you read on, it talks about the acceptable year of the Lord, and then the next page says the day of the Lord's vengeance, right? And then the next page says a remembrance of God's mercies in the days of old. Who did the Lord have mercy on in the days of old? The Israelites. Judgment and salvation, new heavens and a new earth. Yeah. So if you even just read it tells you what it's talking about. So what's the problem here? It was never about everyone. Anyway, what we got there, John? Yeah.
Yeah, I got a quick one.
Yeah, bring it out.
This is the book of Psalms 1 and 47 and 19. He shows his word unto Jacob, his statute and his judgment unto Israel. He has not dealt so with any nation, and as for his judgment, they have not known them. Praise ye the Lord.
That's not how it works. The Lord is dealing with the Israelites, and then we're going to rule over the nations, and that's how they're going to keep the Lord. The Lord never said he's ever been jealous for the other nations, but he's jealous for his people because we are his portion.
Yep.
You heathens are going to be our portion.
You're asking me I should give the heathen for as an inheritance, right?
See there. Yeah.
That's what's been given us. That's what's been given to Yahushua. I mean, we're going to give him those crowns, we're going to give him those irons, we're going to rule over the nations. I was supposed to
rule all territories.
That's it. You know? And that's when the heathen are going to start learning the righteous way, because we're going to be the teachers.
But first, we need to be put in that position.
We need to be right first
of that power, and we need to be right ourselves. You can't do that now. Oh, well, Israel was supposed to teach the nation. No, Israel was supposed to rule the nation. Yeah, get it correct. We ain't just some guy that pops up teaching. We're supposed to rule, and by our rulership, we shall teach. Yeah, with the rod of correction I hold. The world out there belongs to you, no. Yeah, scripture is the real bad man. All right. Yeah, you got. Yeah, let's go.
John 10 and 15. Of the fathers knowest me, even so know I the Father, and I lay down my life for the sheep, and the other sheep I have, and the other sheep.
You look at the word fold.
Yeah. And the other sheep I have, which are not of this fold, them also I must bring, and they shall hear my voice, and there shall be one fold and one shepherd.
One fold and one shepherd. Now that goes back to Ezekiel 37, where the Lord said all the tribes are going to be gathered and brought back, and they're going to become one, and they're going to have one king. It's talking about the same event, and it's talking about the tribes, which we're going to get it, but bring out what the word fold means.
Right, so yeah, just type in, you also say fold is the main version of fold, right? But this pertaining to that block, right?
I ain't talking about no paper fold, or no bill fold.
Right. This is a pen or enclosure in a field where livestock, especially sheep, can be kept.
Right, so that would represent like a territory. So what was
An area,
Judea?
Yeah.
What was Judea? It's a
Specific area,
it's a fold. But there were Israelites that were not a part of that fold.
Well, wait, elsewhere.
Just like when the fold was technically, it used to be multiple folds, right? So you could say Benjamin was a
Right.
fold because it's a landmark, it's a division. Just like when you have a farmer, if you go out to, when you get like any train, like, or you get in the car, right, and you come outside of London, yeah, you go on the down track, yeah, you go on the down track, yeah. You look to your left and your right, or you go Wales. What you see is enclosure. With some of them are use hedge, some of them use pebble, right? And then in one enclosure, you see maybe like a bunch of sheep there. Then in another enclosure, you see a bunch of sheep there. They're enclosed by a border. So the farmer knows these particular sheep I got over here. I got the other particular sheep in this. So that's what the Lord did with Israel, with his sheep. They had different folds. It tells you that in Jeremiah 23 that the Lord is going to bring Israel back and place them in their folds. So Judah had their fold, Benjamin had their fold, Gad had their fold, the half tribe of Manasseh had their fold on this side, and the other half of Manasseh had that, and the other side of the Jordan. So there were all these folds. But then the Lord split the whole nation into two folds. The north and the south. You had the northern kingdom, you have the southern kingdom. The kingdom that remained in the land was the southern kingdom. And they ended up having a fold, which was then known as Judea. Just type Judea into the Google, and it will give you the little map of Judea, the Roman province.
Israel became small, man.
Became small. And that's where Yahushua was. He was in Judea. He said, I have sheep which are not of this fold.
You know here.
Because you got Israelites scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. Them must he also bring. Because as we read earlier, the Lord said he was going to gather Israel from all the nations that he had scattered them. So they're scattered in other folds all over the earth, i.e. America, Brazil, Jamaica, Grenada, everywhere. Israel's scattered. Let's go.
This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 4, from 11. For thus said the Lord power, behold, I, even I, will go search my sheep and seek them out, as the shepherd seeketh out his flock in the day that he is among his sheep that are scattered. So will I seek out my sheep, and I will deliver them out of all places where they have been scattered.
Right, so they've been scattered in all these different places, right? So the Lord had to go out there and gather them also. It wasn't just in Judea. Otherwise, it's not really a scattering. They're all in Judea, right? But we was everywhere. So this is why the word's gone, it's been the way it has and gone out into the four corners of the earth, because the word has to gather the elected from everywhere.
And then that's why the gospel had to go out beyond Judea. And one of the ways the Lord did that was he had the church get persecuted. And they said that you scattered, you smite the shepherd in the head, and the sheep will scatter. And so they had to go out into Asia Minor and all them areas there. Why? Because them Israelites scattered in them places, in Galatia, in Rome, in all these different places. You had Israelites, man. Yeah, that were living in them areas, man. That weren't a part of that fold. They weren't coming back for the 3 high holy days. They weren't keeping the Sabbath. They were out there doing the most, man. But the word of the Lord seek and find, as the Lord had said. I have found of them that sought me not. That's why I said, go forth and teach all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Holy Spirit and Yahushua, man. Because Israel scattered among all nations. Those are the sheep that are scattered. The lost sheep of the house of Israel.
Ezekiel 34 and 31. And the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, prophesy against the shepherd of Israel. Prophesy and say unto them, thus saith the Lord power, and to the shepherd, woe be to the shepherd of Israel that do feed themselves. Should not the shepherd feed the flock? Ye eat the fat,
And that's why I said to Peter, feed my sheep.
ye eat the fat, and ye clothe you with the wool. Ye kill them that are fed, but ye feed not the flock. Let me jump down to 11. For thus said the Lord power, behold, I even I will both search my sheep and seek them out,
Mm.
as the shepherd seeketh out his flock in the day that he is among his sheep that are scattered.
About to get there.
So will I seek out my sheep and will deliver them out of all places where they have been scattered.
Jeez. Yo, read that again. That see that there? That's fire right there.
Punchline, right?
That's that right there, man. That seal up everything. Nice. Yeah, man. Yeah, yeah. We'll let up and drop that again in it, cause that one hit everything nice, man. All the notes.
Mhm.
Try that again.
Ezekiel 34 and the 11. For thus said the Lord, power, behold, I, even I, will both search my sheep and seek them out. As the shepherd seeketh out his flock in the day that he is among his sheep that are scattered, so will I seek out my sheep and will deliver them out of all places where they have been scattered in the crowd and dark day.
Jesus. What do we read? Children of God, which are scattered abroad.
And I was gonna say on that as well, man, because it's like under the word forward, there's something interesting after that, right? And then the second point after it says that a group or community, especially when perceived as having shared aims and values, somewhat of the same, the Lord's people. You know, they were all Israelites, right? That's the community, the road in which the Lord is going to deliver. You know, so you know,
And that kind of makes sense as well, because the Judeans had shared aims and values, but the Israelites outside of that didn't share the same values at all. They were Greeks and doing the most. Yeah, man. That's why one of the biggest hang-ups that Christians have is not acknowledging that they were Israelites outside of the Jews. If you don't understand that, then it's gonna get goofy for you.
And you still feel trying to deny it today.
Yeah, despite the facts. So when you hear it talking about Paul's teaching this person, that person, and they're not Jews, yeah, that's because they were Israelites that weren't Jews. They weren't part of that whole establishment and infrastructure, man. They were outside of that. But Peter confirmed that they are Israelites in the book of Peter when he called them the diaspora, and the scholars admit that when the book of Peter had to be written to Israelites, and it says strangers from Pontus, Galatia, but the scholars know that Peter was writing that letter after Paul's martyrdom to the same churches. So what does that tell you? That those churches that Paul was writing letters to were all Israelites. It's simple mathematics. Yeah? If A equals B and B equals C, then C equals A. You know, it's mathematics, man. That has to be. If Peter was writing to Israelites and Peter was simultaneously writing to the same people Paul was writing to, then Paul was writing to Israelites. I mean, it's not a rocket science. It's logic, man. Didn't you man pass GCSE mathematics or something? Can't you do the maths?
You man like do a fantasy though.
Aquarius. Fantastic. Yeah, that was true. Hey, that shit's funny. I need to find that interview. Fantastic.
Yeah, that's what you gotta do it, man. You're trying to put your own hope into it, man, but it don't exist in the scriptures, man. You make up doctrines. You know?
Yeah, man.
And we're not here to make up doctrines. We're here to find out the truth.
Truth shall set
You know?
Well, the truth sets us free, but it actually destroys you, Edomites.
Because you got your guilt.
Because the truth ain't gonna set the Edomites free. Because the truth is they're going into slavery. That's just always the truth ain't gonna set them free.
There's been predicated on lies, man.
Yeah,
So,
the manifestation of the truth is they're going into slavery. So how can the truth set them free?
I don't liberate them.
It's not liberating for you at all.
Liberate your body.
It's like totally against
So,
you. Right, let's get Ezekiel 37. Let's see what's going on. Yeah. Ezekiel 37, and we're gonna hit the point and seal it up. And there's more scriptures we could have got on the sheet. I know there's like at least 4 or 5 other scriptures that confirm that Israel is the flock and the sheep of the Lord. Like that goes without saying, man. There's so many, scriptures on that. But that scripture the brother just got right there It's
Yeah,
so
you said it is.
so potent. You know, that's the stinky one right there, but that one there is hella potent, man. So I want to get Ezekiel 37. See, Ezekiel 37.
The last day.
And 16, it says, moreover, son of man, take thee one stick and write upon it for Judah and for the children of Israel, his companions. So that would kind of represent the Judeans. Even though there was Judah that was outside of that, mainly that would represent the Judeans, right? Then take another stick. Huh? Yeah. Then take another stick and write upon it for Joseph, the stick of Ephraim, and for all the house of Israel, his companions. That's the northern kingdom. Now, the bulk of the northern kingdom had already left the old world and made their way over to the new world, the Americas. And that includes because our people migrated up into Alaska and even over to the other side. So that includes the so-called Inuit people. They're all Gadites as well. They migrated northward up into them regions. Yeah? Because Gad would tell you that they migrated north across the Mississippi, not south. So they didn't come from China. Quite the contrary. Some of them went over even to the other side. And you do the research, a lot of them Inuit people are mixed in over there too. So we got people over there on that side of the world. Gadites. Yeah? I did some research on that the other day. And I remember Apostle Ricard did some research on that before, and he was saying about the Inuit, what them people, the Eskimo people and that, they're Israelites. And they're dark skinned, by the way, which cuts that whole bullshit about, oh, you go to Europe and because it's cold, you turn into the fucking Milky Bar kid. Well, how come they don't look like the Milky Bar kid? And where they are gets the least amount of fucking sunlight. But them, they're dark, the Eskimos. Make that make sense. They're not blonde either with blue eyes. Could they be blind?
Yeah, it's no blindness.
Yeah?
Those they don't in South Africa, but they never be good. They never become black as well. They never get it.
Brand.
They never become black.
They never be getting the melody.
No, man. That
Charcoal.
you never get. Oh man. Anyway, oh
He's
man.
on your phone, man.
True, bro. All the lies you've been telling, man. Tell the truth. You got leprosy, man. It's not advantageous to be Porky the Pig pink, man. There's no there's a social advantage because you're ruling. But environmentally, there really is no advantage unless you live in a fucking cave or underground, void of light. Then yeah, like
Doesn't matter.
it's not even an advantage at that point.
matter.
It just doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But anytime the sun is shining on your skin, yeah, you need protection, son.
We don't need sunblock.
One of the brothers posted in the started trying to lecture man about the chemicals that's in sunblock, yeah. And I was like, yeah, bro, tell them that, man. I don't fucking need to know all that shit, man. I don't fucking don't use that shit, man. But I was just joking, man. It's good to know that. So apparently that sunblock shit has got chemicals in there that's not good for you anyway.
Well,
Well,
imagine so.
we could imagine.
Yeah, I can imagine so.
Good thing we don't need that,
It sounds natural, innit? Sunblock.
you know. Anyway, right, it says, for Joseph the stick of Ephraim and for all the house of Israel his companions, and join them one to another into one stick, and they shall be one in thine hand. Now, if the Lord is just going to bring all peoples together as one, then what is the point of this? Just like what's the point of sifting Israel from among all nations in Amos 9, if you're just going to bring everyone together anyway? Is the Lord about futility or something? Is that what you believe? Right? And when the children of thy people, I'm not concerned about other people, yeah? The children of thy people shall speak unto thee, saying, wilt thou not shew us what thou meanest by these? Right? Say unto them, thus saith the Lord God, behold, I will take the stick of Joseph, which is the hand of Ephraim, and the tribes of Israel, his fellows, and will put them with them, even with the stick of Judah, and make them one stick, and they shall be one in mine hand. And the sticks whereon thou writest shall be in thine hand before their eyes. And say unto them, thus saith the Lord God, behold, I will take the children of Israel from among the heathen, whither they be gone. That's right. And will gather them on every side. Didn't the scripture say the Lord will gather his elect? Was it Matthew the 24th chapter? The Lord will gather his elect from the four winds. So it's the same thing. And bring them into their own land, right? And I will make them one nation, right, in the land upon the mountains of Israel, and one king shall be king to them all, and they shall be no more two nations. Oh, so there was two nations. Ah, so not for that nation only, but for the children of God scattered abroad.
And it's also going back to Daniel 2 with the kingdom at the end. Whose kingdom is it?
This is not the other people.
It's not the others, it's the Israelites.
Neither shall they be divided into two kingdoms anymore at all. Neither shall they defile themselves anymore with idols, nor with their detestable things, nor with any of their transgressions, because of the new covenant. No man is going to have to go to his brother and say, know the Lord, for all shall know me.
Which tells you the same thing should be made with the house of Israel and the house of Judah.
Wow. But I will save them out of their dwelling places wherein they have sinned, and will cleanse them. So shall they be my people, and I will be their God. And that Revelations 21, the tabernacle of the Lord is with men. Yeah.
And also it says, cleanse us. The scripture says you can take an unclean thing out of an unclean thing. The Hebrew are unclean. We was made clean.
Inherently.
Yeah. We was made to be those chosen. We was meant to be holy, separated, pure. Right? We sullied ourselves though by getting into all this idol worship and all this madness. The Lord's going to cleanse us from all of that stuff, make us perfect.
Perfect. Yeah? And David, my servant, shall be king over them, right? And they all shall have one shepherd. They shall also walk in my judgments and observe my statutes and do them, the new covenant. Yeah. And they shall dwell in the land, not floating around in heaven, like these goofy Christians believe, that you're going to be floating in heaven with crackers. Bunch of Casper the Friendly crackers running around the place. Nah, right? You know, and Bill Clinton's going to be there, and Abraham Lincoln, and listen, them man are going into slavery. Yeah. Fucking Abraham Lincoln. And they shall dwell in the land that I have given unto Jacob my servant, wherein your fathers have dwelt, and they shall dwell therein, even they and their children and their children's children. So more it's about seed, lineage, more seed. Yeah, man. Let's sow the seed them, yeah? Forever. Seeds are sown. And my servant David shall be their prince forever. Right, so David's gonna sit on that throne forever,
and he's our king. He's our king,
which means he's gonna live forever, which is that eternal life. My gift of you is eternal life. Because how can David be the king forever if he don't have eternal life? Which goes hand in hand with what the gospel promises, which is only promised to the Israelites. Because the other nations are not gonna have eternal life. They might live a little bit longer because they're gonna be eating better foods and healthier, but they're not gonna live eternally because they're gonna be imperfect and they're not gonna have the superhuman, real bad man bodies that we're about to get. Yeah, we're about to get the super duper thing. That's the gift of Israel. The other nations ain't gonna get that. They're not gonna be changed and made into the real Superman them on the planet, the real top dons. Yeah, that Esau's trying to do with the genetic modification and robotics like a fool, and he's failing. Yeah, because he spent all of his time trying to make penises. Fucked up, man. Wasted all that time and resource. Yeah, it says, moreover, I will make a covenant of peace with them. That's why Yahweh Shai is known as the Prince of Peace. Yeah, and he said he shall bring consolation to Israel. It shall be an everlasting covenant with them, and I will place them and multiply them. So we're going to be having sex, because that's the only way. Let me qualify that, because obviously you have to explain that because of Esau's kingdom. When I say we are going to be having sex, we're not talking about man and man rubbing up together in the bedroom, or woman and woman. What I'm talking about is a man and his one of his wives are going to be doing what's righteous, yeah? The right way, yeah? Putting in the real work, yeah? Right? Sowing the seeds, yeah? Plowing. Plowing, yeah? Such is the nature of life. So that's how we're going to be multiplying. unlike Esau wants everything to go down. Yeah. And I will set my sanctuary in the midst of them forever, which you can read about in Revelations 21 and 22. My tabernacle also shall be with them. So when you read in Revelation 21 and it says the tabernacle of God shall be with men. Oh yeah, see, it said with men. So that could be any man. That could be Iron Man. That could be Superman. That could be Batman. That could be an Indian man. Yeah, no. Read the Bible with context. The men that is talking about is qualified in Ezekiel 38 chapter. That's the Israelites. Yeah? That's what the same. So you read it in Revelation 21 and you read it without context. Yeah, you could apply it to any man. Anyone with an XY chromosome. No, it's talking about the Israelites. Yeah? My tabernacle also will be with them. I will be their God, and they shall be my people. And the heathen shall know that I, the Lord, do sanctify Israel.
Exclusion. Exclusion part of it, man.
When my sanctuary shall be in the midst of them forevermore. And what does the scripture say? Sanctify them through thy truth. Thy word is truth. So who's going to be sanctified by the truth and the word? The Israelites.
And who's going to sit there wishing that they were them? The heathen, man.
The heathen.
You're going to sit there looking like, wow.
And that's how you do it, man. This is, you know,
It's not hard.
But you see, the reason why a lot of our people can't get what we just broke down is because the Lord has blinded them. Because this is, I feel that was a pretty strong set of scriptures that we brought out here.
Yeah.
It makes sense. And I know I saw brothers pointing more scriptures, pertinent scriptures on the book, and there's still more scriptures. So it's like, you gotta ask yourself, why can't these bonehead Christians, why are they bucking? Well, we know why Vocab's bucking up against it, because even if he knew that's the truth, it's not for him. In the spirit, he knows it's not for him because he's a devil. So we know why he ain't gonna come on. Like, if you're a heathen, why would you want to accept it? That just don't make no sense. But why do our people not accept this? Because it is given to you to know to the mysteries, and to them it is not given. Certain of our people, the Bible said, if this gospel be hid, it's hid to them which are lost. Certain of our people, they are retarded spiritually. They've got a block on them. Why? Even though you break it down so beautiful, the scripture that the brother brought out in Ezekiel 34 hit the nail on the head. It brought everything together that we were speaking about from John 11 through to John 10. That alone explained everything and put it into its proper context. So why are they going to argue about God? No, God loves everyone. That's because they're retarded. They're stuck on stupid.
My man would be saying, but that's even hopscotch though, you know.
But you know, they're going to be a different type of hopscotch when the missiles come in, blood. Yeah.
But the Lord said that He put the spirit of sleep on our people, man. So they can't be waking up. I don't know how to say it. Woke. Yeah, they claim they woke, right? They can't be awoken, right? So the Lord is going to lead them in dreamland, you know, in the darkness, the veil of this world. Believing on the Esau's version of the Bible, man. And when they believe in Esau,
when we bring out, Vocab's not going to try and address this video because he can't. There's nothing he can do.
And I probably just want some generic shit.
He's just going to revert to some old dumb argument. He won't address it. He just come up with some bullshit, man, and try and skeet around it. But we just showed that the tabernacle of the Lord is with the Israelites. What he will say, well, anyone could be Israel. But we just read about the seed. Yep. So how could it be anyone? If it's anyone, then there's literally no point mentioning Israel then. Okay. Just say humans. Anyway, you got any more scriptures you want to bring out? Any closing scriptures? This one. Yeah, bring it out.
This is Ezekiel 11 and 16. Therefore say, thus said the Lord power, although I have cast them far off among the heathen, and although I have scattered them among the countries, yet will I be to them as a little sanctuary in the countries where they shall come.
Right, the Lord is our sanctuary, man. Because the Lord is waking up Israelites around the world, because we're scattered around the world. Right, and like I said, it's not meant for everybody, so it's not like we expect all of us to understand this, but it's a blessing that someone does for us to all be saved. You know, because if it was down to you guys, yeah, it would be over for us. You know what I'm saying? You know, but the Lord's got his elect out here, man, that
Yeah,
can receive the word.
You got boneheaded Negroes talking about, oh, I'm an ex-Hebrew Israelite, and then you go in and sitting on a podcast next to Vocab Malone. It shows me you were always a loser, because I could never be like, that's a curse. If you ever see me in a room with Vocab Malone conversating and being cordial and parring, you know something's gone wrong there. Like, that's a curse. The Lord is, I might as well be Nebuchadnezzar eating grass, because that guy there is a real dweeb. You just wouldn't par with that. No, tell the truth. He's corny. He ain't got no flavor. You don't hang around with people like that. Those are people that you see at work and you say hi, and because you don't want to get no infringement from the HR, if they're in the same room from you, you involve them in a 1-minute conversation, but you try and find a reason to go somewhere else so you can hang around with the colleagues you actually want to talk to. You know them ones in it, like you might be chilling and there's man that you talk to at work, and then there's them people that if you go into work and they're the only ones in, you're like, it's gonna be a long day, bro, trying to force these conversations. I really don't want to part with this.
You don't make conversations, you get upset.
And you know, man, don't get invited to them events that you do. You know them man there, like you just don't invite them. Like, yo, like we don't invite that guy, man. You man, yeah, we're going Nando's after work, but that guy, we can't bring him, like, because he's dead out here, like. What's he gonna do? This corny joke, start rapping, start doing some corny beatboxing. Like, come on, man. And then you're gonna go hang around with this guy and teach Christianity with him. That's how you know the Lord has put demons. You gotta have demons on you, man. You have to. I'm an ex-Hebrew Israelite and I'm here with Vocab Malone. Who? That corny dude?
That's a damn thing right there,
bro. That is unforgivable, man. Pray the Lord don't put that on you. That's backward, bro. That's sad in life. If you ever hanging around with a guy like that, yeah, you down bad, man. You down all the way bad. Them dudes corny, man. Their jokes are corny. They're not funny. Making parodies is not funny. Like, what's this guy doing? Anyway, yeah, it's a curse, man. It's definitely the Lord has to put the blinders on you and just totally strip you of all spirit and just leave you out there for the wolves. And you out there talking about, I'm an ex-Hebrew Israelite. Our doctrine is secure. This is so reinforced by the weight of the scriptures that you could come out every week and bring out all different scriptures and come to the same conclusion very easily without even having to write it down beforehand. Because we didn't write none of this down.
Just blindly go there.
We just went in there and just went in the spirit, yeah, and everything's just coming and connecting. And then next week we come again and we could prove the same thing with using a whole different set of scriptures, because all the scriptures are going to be in agreement and they compound and they connect together. Christianity can't do that, because as soon as you start taking other scriptures, the whole premise falls apart. Oh, God loves everyone. Oh, but I hate Esau. It don't work. It starts clashing. Don't make no sense.
Because that, you know, when you said there's no actual scripture that says that.
There's nothing. There's too many scriptures against that. You can't prove your point, man. So, like, yeah, man, listen, if you really understanding this truth, it's a blessing and it's a gift from Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. A lot of our people, as simple as it sounds as we're bringing it out, only the Lord can make it simple to you. Yeah. There's crazy people out there that what we just said went right over their head, and they're about to go church tomorrow and sing the same set of flows.
Well, it's like Paul said, man, they wrestle with the scriptures, man. They can't get down with it, man. They're struggling, spiritually inept.
But it's really basic and simple. And in the kingdom, it's gonna be the basic and simple understanding. And everyone's gonna get it in the kingdom. Mm-hmm. Even the heathen are gonna get it. They're gonna, yeah.
Well, it's to say we should not teach our brother because they should know me.
They all know, man. It's not hard, man. All this confusion is gonna be gone. So anyway, with that, say Kal Halal Yahweh, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. That's who taught us this truth, man. Right, yeah. The apostles and elders. And honors to the brothers out there on the highways and the byways, still pushing this word, pushing out all the prophecies, doing the work of the ministry. And shalom to you brothers and sisters listening and learning and supporting the ministry. Shalom.
Shake a coat out, innit?
Yeah.
Shake a
Yeah,
coat
yeah.
out, innit?
Oh yeah.